Welcome into the PHNX Suns Watchalong. It's Suns Pelicans. I'm Espo, and the man Eric Ruby will be joining me in just a second as we are going to either enjoy this or suffer through it with you. Another 4 quarters of Phoenix Suns basketball, and it's pretty simple. I think we're at the point where the Suns have to win pretty much everything they can over the next 8 games. But especially in the 2 games against the Pelicans, if they win tonight, they own the tiebreaker. If they lose, they've got another opportunity to get the tiebreaker against the Pelicans. There's only a handful of games separating these 2 teams, and the Suns are in a fight for their life when it comes to making the actual playoffs and avoiding the play-in, or at the very least winding up the 7 seed in the play-in with 2 opportunities to get in the playoffs with home games. Eric, how you feeling?
Conflicted because I know it's a big game, which means that there's a chance that the Suns get up. But I also know that Brandon Ingram is out, which if the OKC game is any indication of how they play against a team when their best player, one of their best players, if you want to argue Zion, is out, does concern me a little bit. But one man that I'm watching very closely tonight is Bradley Beal, because I don't know if you remember who guarded Zion in their last matchup, but it was that man. Let's see what he could do tonight, because I would assume KD is probably to get that matchup a little bit as well with no Ingram, since they're not going to have to check him, but they trusted Beal a lot.
I hate the matchup in general.
Oh, yeah, it's not great.
The Suns lack the size to truly take on Zion. And I know people point to the last game, and okay, well, they played him well.
Mm-hmm.
They did. I mean, but they also had to guard the 3-point line aggressively and held New Orleans to essentially 24% from deep. And to me, the chances that they're going to have that again from the Pelicans are slim to none.
Yeah, especially because New Orleans is playing really well right now, and they've had a couple really big games that were kind of deemed must wins, and they've won, especially that Bucks game. I think that was over last weekend. It's more and more crunch time, and I know we've been talking about it like it's crunch time for like 2 weeks now, but Gordon in the chat, I think, says it and sums it up in the best way. It says, "We will stay with the ship as it sinks if necessary."
I mean, we always do.
That's the thing.
We'll stay with it when the off season starts, and we'll be here in August. I mean, the reality is, win or lose, we're here every day for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this fan base, I mean, at least the true diehards have never gone anywhere when it comes to this team. They're always there and always willing to do what it takes to root on this team, even when it's painful.
Yeah.
It's put up or shut up time. I don't want to hear.
But it has been.
No, but like now is dire. It's not, it'd be nice so we can move up to 4. No, now is dire. You don't want to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
You have to win now. And the 2 Pelicans games are imperative to that. I don't think you can go 1-1. I think you got to beat them both times and hope you get some help where they fall down into that 7-8 mix. You're going to have to beat the Clippers a couple times to pull them down.
Yeah.
Like
Minnesota. Not to pull them down, but it's a tough team.
I mean, in general, there's nothing easy in this. People point at Cleveland, they've struggled in their last 10. Still not easy.
No.
But there's nothing that's going to come easy. So either you are actually a team that can at least somewhat meet your potential, at least enough to make the actual play-in, or you're a team that's ready to pack it in certain ways. And I need to see what you are tonight in particular.
It's tough because I've been hearing everybody say that, and like, again, not that it's been wrong, but for a while now. I mean, really, we were going into that stretch of Hornets, Bucks, 76ers, Hawks, double Spurs with really high expectations of this is do or die. This is put up or shut up, right? And then they lost to the Spurs, and you're like, oh, it's over. Then they won the Nuggets, and we're so back. And then they lost to the Thunder, and it's so over again. And you're right. The schedule coming up is going to be, and always has been, a true test, whether they were the number 3 seed in the West right now. But they're fighting for those lives. We showed the graphic in pregame. Like, they're the 8th seed right now, and a lot of other teams in the West around them are trending up. And I wouldn't consider them in that same bracket. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
You're a little young, but did you ever watch any of those 80s horror movies?
Yeah.
You know, like Halloween or any. You know how there's always the villain, the murderer that's just feet behind you, like in
they're just
movies.
And you know they're there, but the person that's in the movie doesn't know that they're there.
That's the Lakers right now.
Yeah.
They're a game and a half back. You could be in 9 real quick. If you lose tonight, you're only a game ahead of them, right?
Yep.
Like, that's terrifying to me as well. Falling to that 9 spot is the worst. Then you're playing the Warriors in a 1-game situation, which I don't like. The Warriors haven't been good, but they can beat anybody in a 1-game situation. And even if you win that, then you got to win a second game. They have to win tonight.
Yeah.
They have to win tonight. By the way, Buddha the Schizo said,
I know, it's tough.
Guess what, Espo? My book ones didn't fit. What size are you, Buddha the Schizo? Because if you're a size 12.5, 13 that you bought, I might be willing to buy them off of you.
Shout out Buddha in the chat, Gordon in the chat, Ogre is here, DC is here, James is here. What's up, everybody? Make sure you are subscribed, although most of you I pretty much know are subscribed. Make sure you hit like on this video as well. And as Espo mentioned, we are here for the diehards. If you want to become a diehard, one of ours specifically, you can do that at gophnx.com. Become a diehard today. Get exclusive content. I know Flex did a Q&A in our diehard Discord last Friday. I know people really love that. He really enjoyed it as well. All sorts of specialized content, whether you're a Suns fan, a Cardinals fan, a D-backs fan, ASU, U of A, Coyotes, Rising. We have everything, and it's a fantastic, fantastic time. What's up, Vaughn? In the chat saying hi as well. Okay, Espo, your key. I said king because King J-Rock is in here as well. What's up? Your key to the game tonight.
Figure out a way. Well, no, show heart, first of all. And then figure out a way to get Booker going and figure out a way to get Zion facing the hoop, not backing guys down.
My key is to find a Pelicans player that Frank Vogel can blame for flopping after the loss. That's my key to the game.
I don't like that. Nurk rarely loses a tip. So
yeah,
I'm already feeling a certain way here.
Vaughn in the chat asked if we think Book will get 50 tonight. Espo sure is hoping so, considering he bet on Book 40+. Valanciunas, a quick 2 to start the game. And here
Lindsay
lost
her bet.
No, she had first field goal for Suns.
Oh, for Suns.
Yeah, so it's still alive.
Right. I'm glad we've got the Motor City Pelicans back here. These god awful uniforms.
Detroit basketball.
Yeah, I mean, they so look like the Pistons. Oh, this is
okay. So it's a foul, so not a field goal.
This is going to be a 1980s center battle here tonight, apparently.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nurkic, it's beard on beard.
11-19. Nurk just got the ball at the free throw line. For those of you who want to sync up your TV with us, Pelicans lead 2-0. That score on screen is going to be relatively close to where we're at, maybe a little bit delayed. But again, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And here we are. I think my key to the game is, what do you do with Zion Williamson, man? Because no Brandon Ingram might be a benefit in some ways, but it also means the offense is going to be run a lot more through Zion, who has kind of picked it up at the end of this season after dipping kind of high and low throughout. But look at that. We are getting big bully ball down low. Valanciunas spot up against Nurkic, and he airballs it over the rim. That was not big bully ball.
We got Bradley Beal on Zion.
Again.
And then Zion appears to be guarding Beal on the other end, too.
Oh.
That's a matchup I'd take advantage of. Let Beal use his athleticism as Book. Lindsay hits her bet.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah. You hit your bet. Hit your bet.
She's excited. But I only have 38 points to go to hit mine now, so I'm all right with it tonight.
Every Booker bucket you win.
Yeah. I don't know, though. If I've got Beal and Zion's guarding him on the other end, which it looks like McCollum is actually taking him now, and you've got Zion.
Ooh. Buddy. He might be back.
34 to go. I'm just going to count my
Espo?
own bet. I'm not jinxing anything.
I think he might be back.
whoever Zion is on one of these guards, you've got to use the mismatch on the other side too. Because they're going to use it against you at some point in this. And if I've got, Beal or Grayson, whoever it is, right now he's on Grayson, figure out a way to take advantage of that too. There we go. KD joins the action. Him and Book both hit their first threes, and that's the other advantage. No Brandon Ingram means Durant's got to work less on the defensive end and doesn't have to deal with Ingram on the offensive end. And I want to see them utilize that as well.
I know that this season, KD with another shot. And this is kind of good timing because I know this season has been very up and down. But I saw a shot chart from KD today, and it was basically green all over. And the tweet, I forget who sent it, basically read that Kevin Durant, post-Achilles tear, is the best defender on his team. As McCollum hits a three, we got a shootout right now. It's 12-10 with 9:10 left to go in the first. Saying basically that KD, post-Achilles tear, is shooting incredibly efficient from the field and from everywhere. Nice dime from Book, too.
That was just pretty.
That was kind of a Steve Nash little bounce pass down low into the paint.
Spun and knew exactly where Nurk was.
Exactly.
It was great. Great play by Book on that end.
But mention that KD's doing all that while playing the best defense individually on the team this year. And it made me reappreciate everything he's done so far this season, even though overall as a team, this has not been exactly where we want to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a bad season for Book or Durant, as Book misses that one right as I say it. But I don't think it's been a bad season for either of them. I just don't think it's been a connected season.
Right.
And this team needs to find a way to connect with each other, to be on the same page. And when they do that, that's when you see the best out of this group.
And we've seen it. And that's the thing is we've seen it. That's why not everybody is completely devoid of hope, because we have seen them multiple times do that.
Just not as of,
not
Denver
consistently
game,
and not a lot as of late.
But the two of the last three, they have not been that group.
No. Against teams where it should have been a lot easier for them to be that group than against Denver. 14-13, 8:08 left here in the first quarter. Make sure you hit that like button. Thanks to all of you that are in here right now. We appreciate you.
Yeah, Booker with 5 so far, KD with 6. So the two big stars are shining right now in New Orleans, but they got to keep it up. It's as simple. We talked about it a lot, but this team goes as these big three will go, and if they're hitting, it opens up looks for the Grayson Allens of the world, the Eric Gordons, the Royce O'Neals, and they need that tonight.
Couple missed shots from CJ McCollum. Is this matchup, is it close to being a rivalry? I don't know if it's there yet, but we've seen a lot of fire between these two teams in the last couple of years, and it seems like the players, no matter who's on each team, do get up for Suns Pelicans games.
Yes and no. I think when you've got an Alvarado out there a little bit more, the fact, at this point, Willie Green only coached Book. So I don't even know that is
right
something that weighs into it.
But you get the whole Zion windmill at the end of the game, Book dropping like 50 every time that they see each other.
I think it's tough for this team to have a rivalry with anybody, because if you don't have an identity, you can't have a rivalry with anybody until you figure out who you are.
Definitely feels like the Pels get up, but Book,
8 now.
Jeez.
32 to go.
Hey, man. I'm not saying it, but hey, man.
Hey, well, sometimes it's good to be king.
Oh, jeez. That's all I'm saying. All right, we're ending the watch along. That's it. So it's over.
So that time you had KD on Zion down there, and look, Zion has so far, 0.0 attempts. They've been kind of using him as a distraction here. I hate the KD back down and then it just eats up the clock, and I'm sure he'll make it.
Yeah, one as well. And that's the hard part, where aesthetically it's not that great, and when it doesn't work, you think to yourself, well, there's about 100 different ways that possession could have gone differently. But then when he hits it, you're like, yep, that's Kevin Durant.
My problem is a lot of times it slows the motion. Even when Book goes ISO, it does that too. The one thing, New Orleans didn't flash the double. When the double comes to KD down there, too, that's when it gets frustrating. We've seen KD, if he's not locked in right away on that and make the right pass early on, that can really hurt him. So,
well, yeah, it's tough because sometimes his processing in those moments isn't as fast as you would like it to be. And so then you get like kind of PTSD when he does post up, because a lot of times it does turn out to be a turnover. Right. But yeah, you're right. When they don't bring any double coverage or anything like that, and I believe it was Herb Jones I was guarding him, who was a great defender, but is like 6'5", 6'4". Yeah. It's easier for him to get a shot off over. But back to the kind of the Zion thing that you were saying, I noticed that too, where it was like, okay, yeah, Beal is on him, but they're not trying to force feed him, which means they probably didn't like what they saw last time these two teams play. And Bradley Beal played pretty decent defense against them. They probably didn't think, well, that's a matchup that we can exploit so heavily that we need to target it as soon as it's happening. Plus, even if Beal didn't do a great job, you don't want to put those miles on KD right now.
Yeah,
you should throw him at him in spots, but not all game.
I think Willie Green's probably doing this strategically, not because he doesn't like the matchup, but because he knows they're so focused on Zion,
right,
that they can leverage other guys, and by getting other guys going, they're going to have to, basically deal with the pick your poison situation. Do I want to focus in on Zion or guard these other guys, which then opens up Zion if they start to go the other way, and I think that's the worst of situations you can find yourself in.
Yeah,
because the way they won last time was by eliminating the threes and the shots that the others were making, right? And if you're not doing that, and then Zion gets going, it's game over, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if everybody's firing for this team, even without Brandon Ingram, we know CJ McCollum can drop 50. Valanciunas can be 20 and 20, sometimes even better if he's having a fantastic night. And then, there's the Zion factor, where Zion can score 35 points and 31 of them in the paint and 4 at the line, and do it quite easily. But no, Ingram does throw a wrench in everything, even defensively for the Pelicans, because Ingram is so long and lanky and is such an incredible passer too. Like he brings it in more than just scoring, especially for a team that runs CJ McCollum at point guard as well. But Book just always gets up. They're showing the highlights on the screen. The last time that they met, he dropped 52. I believe that was the stretch of time where everybody was dropping like 60 and 70, right? Yeah. And I think that was around the Book 60 bomb as well.
It's interesting when you watch these two teams, because they're Ingram and Durant are kind of a comp. McCollum and Beal are kind of a comp. Nurk and Valanciunas are kind of a comp. And then it comes down to Zion or Book.
Right? Which there is no comp.
Like who do you trust more to take over a game, I think is the question with it. And Book's proven it more often. And right now he's proving it in this game too, where he's held it or taken on more for the Suns so far than we've seen with Zion. And that could wind up becoming, a big point in this game is how do those two scoring wise line up? Because if they're about even and then KD gets going without an Ingram on the other side, that could be a big difference.
Well, these are two teams that when you kind of describe them, you can put them in a similar category of when everything is clicking and all of their players are operating at the highest level, there's nothing you can really do with them. As Book just hit a pull-up 3 step to the side. He is absolutely on one tonight.
29 to go.
Woo! Yeah, he's going crazy. I mean, at the same time, KD has 9, but you talked about the Suns in the offseason. You're like, if everything goes right, like they should be in a good spot. And you look at the Pelicans, like they are so versatile and they're so dangerous. Another 3 for Book? He walked away before it even went in. He shot that, he turned to the bench, and then he walked away. That's so cold. That's so cold. 14 points for Booker here in the first quarter. 5:30 left to go. 26-15. The Suns lead it. We appreciate you tuning in here. Remember, you're going to have a post-game show as well. It's going to be Gerald, Lindsay, and Espo back in the seats. But for right now, we're in a commercial break, so let's take a little bit of a step back and look at last night in NBA action, Espo, because not a banner night for the Suns in their postseason chase. The Lakers beat the Nets by 12. The Clippers beat the Hornets by 12. Dallas beat Houston by almost 20 points. And Golden State beat San Antonio by 4. And also Sacramento destroyed Utah by 21. So every other team that is even around the Suns in the standings right now, they won last night.
Yeah, there's no easy path. Take care of your shit. I mean, it's that simple. This is not going to be easy. If you want to actually play in the playoffs, put on your big boy pants and take care of business in the next 8 games. If you don't, I mean, even if you're average, you go even 6-2. I mean, 5-3 is going to buy you a nice ticket to the probably 7th, 8th, probably 8th or 9th seed right there. You need 6-2, you need 7-1, you need 8-0 in these final games to control your own destiny, and it's that simple. And they've come out with heart hustle tonight so far, which was one of the things I said I want to see first and foremost, because that's a barometer with this team. Yeah, if they come out bad body language, not locked in early on, it usually carries out throughout the game. Tonight, that's not the case so far.
And something that Gerald mentioned in the pregame show was that if the Suns do end up in the 9th seed, or worst case scenario, the 10th seed, they haven't done anything over this last stretch of games that would instill any confidence whatsoever. No, right? Like, so it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to play impressively and boom, go to the 9th seed, right? Like, if they get there, then the trend has continued, but they can still put it together when everybody looks hot. They can still put it together when like the ball is moving. And I think James in the chat says it right. Like, it's a good start. Just like keep it going. We want to make sure that they keep their foot on the Pelicans right now, because we've also seen this team take big leads and blow it as well. I mean, we've seen about everything. We've seen them come back from huge deficits. We've seen them blow huge leads. We've seen them dominate a game for all 4 quarters, and we've seen them just completely show up out of touch. We've seen every single end of the spectrum.
But that's the problem, why you still believe.
Yeah, because you've seen one end.
Yeah, and you go, okay, yeah, it'll happen. It's like,
and you have faith in your superstars as well. Like, Devin Booker has earned your trust. Kevin Durant has earned your trust. Bradley Beal, I think he's played well enough to earn your trust to a certain extent. He's not going to be dropping 40, but he can. Durant take it to the rim. It's 28-15 early.
That was good defense. Good defense leads to easy offense, and that's what it was. Grayson with the steal, and then KD gets the easy dunk there. So
11 points.
Durant's having a great first quarter. 11 points on 4-6 shooting. I
think that was Trey Murphy with a deep 3 for the Pelicans. Yeah, I mean, KD and Book have 25 of the Suns' 28 points. Yep. Yusuf Nurkic has scored the other 3.
And that was early. So that's 16 for Book now.
Over half of the points scored for Book. And then basically a majority of the rest of the points have been from Durant.
Let's be honest. This was their recipe in the playoffs last year.
Absolutely.
And it worked in round 1. It pushed the Nuggets as far as anybody got them. I mean, maybe it's time to just let these two cook and let everything else fall where it may. And this is the first time in a while, at least to start, where we feel like both of them, great block by Nurk on Zion, but where it feels like both of them might have it going in the same game.
Yeah, we have not seen that as much as you would probably have expected it. And maybe it is because they've been trying to get everybody else involved as Eric Gordon hits a corner 3. There we go, baby.
That's the barometer.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon actually having a good shooting night usually means good things for this team. Granted, it's his first one, but
but it's he didn't miss, right? Like, he hit, and that's a big deal because he's been very streaky, and seeing that first one go in is massively important.
And he's been hesitant to shoot in the past, too.
That's true. Yeah, some games he's had 0 shots, and Grayson from the corner. Okay, that's your barometer.
And that's gravity, right?
Yep.
That we talked about it, but Devin Booker cuts through the lane, and they have to respect him so much because the heaters he's on, and he knew he had Grayson in the corner open, and he hits him. And that's why it's so important to have Book and KD going, because they can be the focus of the defense and make it so much easier on the Eric Gordons and Grayson Allens.
And that was the selling point for this team. That was the selling point for why Eric Gordon. Grayson Allen. Okay, the team showed up tonight so far. Like 38-18, 3 minutes left to go in the first. You've seen Grayson Allen score 5 consecutive points, a contested 3 and a dunk. Booker has gone off, basically scoring almost half the points. Durant has double digits already.
Nurkic with 8 rebounds, which is what you expect from him.
Against a team that has good size, not a team like OKC when he grabbed his 31, where he was taking on Chet Holmgren. So, I mean, this is why you believe, right? Like, this is why you believe.
I freaking love Grayson's athleticism.
Yeah.
It's so crazy when you see him get up like that, and I think it hypes the team too.
Definitely.
We're losing our signal.
Yeah,
here.
so our entire signal has gone dark.
But it's not our TV.
It's not
the
us.
Arizona Family logo is still up.
So while we can't see anything right now, so hope you guys are still watching. Make sure we're still up too. We are. Okay, it's not just like some random complete outage. I want to talk about something that we haven't really talked about.
Okay.
March Devin Booker is over, and he did not have a good March.
No.
He averaged 24.1 points, 6.9 assists, and 5.4 rebounds in March this year. Last season, he averaged 32 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. It's an 8-point difference.
Yep.
And now he's coming out today, April 1st. He said it's no longer March book, it's April book.
April book, yes. It is. And that, I mean, look, man, you could not survive in any way, shape, or form with the Devin Booker that showed up in March.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, 28% from deep. They ain't going to get it done for this team.
No, not a bit. And maybe he was dealing with some repercussions from his ankle injury. There we go. Drew Eubanks blocks the crap out of Zion.
Zion's been blocked twice.
They've done a really good job on him so far.
Zion still with only 2 points in this game.
As many points as many times he's been blocked. Oh, Eric Gordon pull it from deep. I get that offensive rebound, though. I like that.
That's hustle from Royce.
Yeah.
All right, Book. Take him. He's got Zion. He pulls up on him.
And he draws the foul.
So he's going to the line for 3 free throws.
Book could get 22 points after these free throws.
He has 19 points right now. He's 7 of 8, 5 of 6 from deep.
Jeez.
Ooh. We're entering that 6 3-pointer territory.
We are. He already has 5.
Quarter.
He already has. I mean, listen, I know that we've said this so many times, but if this isn't the game where he gets 7, then he's doing it on purpose. If he hits all 3 of these, the Suns will have 44 points with just under 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and Book will have exactly half of that. Incredible.
I mean, whoever said he'd score 40 tonight?
I don't know. Espadamas over here.
I mean, that's another plus 1,200 on that if it hits. But I think the large lead, if it carries through, could be the most danger that I face on that. Yep. So he now has 23 of the 44 points.
Yeah, and let's not get ahead of ourselves and just say the game's over, because it's not. It's definitely not in today's NBA and not against this team.
No, but at some point the Book will sit and New Orleans will go on a run.
Absolutely. That's just how this works. But if you just continue with the game plan and force misses, which they've been doing, you can win this game, and you can win it easily. You just have to just not stop, right? And the bench has to come in, and production has to be not exactly the same, but not completely fall off a cliff. Oh my gosh, he's just on one tonight, man.
25 now?
Spin off the block, pull up, bank shot like somebody in San Antonio who I don't like.
24 now.
Jeez, he has 24 of the Suns' 46 first quarter points with a minute left to go. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button as Larry Nance Jr. hits a corner 3.
Bad rotation.
There's been a couple open shots they've had tonight.
You can't leave him open you can't leave anybody open like that. You got to make sure, even when your focus is some of the bigger bodies on this team, or stopping things in the lane, you got to rotate.
Talk about players, random players across the league I'd love to have on the Suns. Larry Nance Jr. is definitely near the top of that list. His Book contested pull up through. I thought that went in.
That was the heat check.
That was a 2-for-1 as well. 30 seconds left on the clock. Suns up 46-25. And Larry Nance Jr. inside. It's a physical game right now. 20 seconds left to go in the first.
Again, bad rotation.
Yep. And a shot.
And they give up the 3.
All right.
They get sucked in the paint, and I'm always of the belief, and we talked about this in a lot of the handful of games lately, give up the 2.
Yeah.
Give up the 2 instead of giving up the easy 3.
5 seconds left on the clock. Bradley Beal with the ball in his hands. He's going to stop, pop mid-range, and it's no good. End of the first quarter. 46-28. The Suns lead it. Devin Booker, just an absolute madman. Every single time he comes in, is it still Smoothie King Center? Yeah, it's still Smoothie King Center. He absolutely dominates. He has 24 points and 4 assists, which is not a small amount of assists.
No, okay. So he's accounted for the points, or 24 of the points, 4 assists. Let's just assume we know at least one of them was on a 3-degree. So let's assume the others were 2s. That's 9 of the other points. So that's 33 of the Suns' 46 points Devin Booker's been involved in.
Incredible.
Minimum. Like, that's insane.
I know. It is really fun. And Kevin Durant, I mean, obviously going to be a little bit lost in the mix when your teammate drops 24, but he had a good first quarter with 11 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Everybody else has stepped up kind of in other ways. Eric Gordon has hit a 3. He's 1 of 2 from the field. Grayson Allen has 5 points so far, but a big-time 3 to keep the momentum in the Suns' favor, and then right back down the next possession, dunking on fools. Nurkic with 3 points so far, but like you said, 8 rebounds. Only guy who really hasn't played up to how he should be is Bradley Beal. 0 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound.
Yeah, but you're bound. Somebody
has to fall
when
to
you
the
have
bottom.
2 guys combining for 35 points and you score 46 in the quarter.
Yeah,
somebody's bound to be the odd man out, and it's obviously Brad. But I mean, you bring up KD. KD's on pace for 44. Like an 11-point quarter is not anything to sneeze at.
Not at all.
Especially when one of your teammates takes 10 of your shots in the quarter.
Right.
And Kevin Durant was super efficient. He got 6, but he hit 4 of them. I mean, it's crazy. They're 16 of 24. So those 2 guys have combined for 12 of the 16 shots that they've made.
Yeah. And Bradley Beal also arguably has the hardest defensive assignment. Now, we haven't seen him on Zion every single possession, but he's certainly been one of the primary defenders. Yeah. And for somebody that size who is definitely committed to other parts of the game besides scoring, I don't mind seeing him with 0 so far. So you would like to see him getting a little bit of a rhythm, because as much as you would like to think that Book and Durant can keep up this pace, which I guess it's technically possible, you don't want to solely rely on it. So you want to see him get a little bit more in the flow offensively, but this is a defensive game from Brad Beal. It's what you need from him right now.
Yeah, James Donlin in the chat says, still 3 quarters to go.
Yep.
Stay focused. Can't get
I think he meant lazy, probably.
I think so too. But look, this is what we've seen with this team. They take a big lead and they give it right back. They can't afford to do that. I don't like this. Why? Book is on a heater.
Right. Like, come on.
Let him play until he starts missing and then take him out. I hate I'm married so much to a rotation. And if they start missing or New Orleans goes on a run, I'm bringing Book back as soon as possible. You cannot afford to let him cool and cost yourself because of it.
Yeah. 3 missed threes in the first possession with 2 offensive rebounds. For the Suns so far, like we said, 46-28. It is 11-28 with Frank Vogel on the screen. For those of you who want to match up your stream with ours, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. No, Larry, we will not slip off our shoes. Not that type of live stream. But you're right.
I don't know. For the right amount of super chat.
If you get the super chat up, what's the amount? Put a number on it.
I don't know. Larry surprised me.
Larry, let's see what you got, brother.
I'm a man that's available to be bought, I guess, is what I'm saying. Not in that way, but.
I mean, listen, if you drop triple digits in super chats, then, the rules are off the table. But if you guys do want to read super chats, we'll definitely read your comment. We're going to try to get some in here as well. Let us know if you're a fan of Book resting the beginning of the first quarter. I think Saul in the chat, hello, Saul. Nice to see you. Says they're up 18. This is his time to sit. He'll be fine. He clearly loves playing in New Orleans. I mean, yeah. But if the only thing I would say is, unless Devin Booker comes to you and explicitly demands to sit down, I feel like as a coach you can go up to him and be like, "Do you want to rock? Like, do you want to let it go?" And if he says no, I'm good, then sit him. But sometimes just let a dude play.
How many times have we seen Devin Booker have a quarter like that? Then he goes and sits down and he doesn't find the rhythm again. That's my concern. And now that lead, is 15. where it was up in 22 at one point, and I get it. It's still a sizable lead, but Devin was cooking, and I just don't want to. I don't disrespect a heater. That's always my belief. Don't disrespect a heater. Let the guy go until he needs a breather and he makes it clear, or the shots stop falling, and then you give him the rest.
Yeah, Buddha in the chat asks, is this the first time stat for a quarter 0 turnovers? Did they have 0 in that first San Antonio game in the first, or was it just one?
One, I believe.
I mean, it might be. 0 turnovers in the first quarter is a fantastic recipe as Beal hits that 3.
It's tough to turn it over when you're hitting almost every
That's
shot.
fair. And you're getting a lot of offensive rebounds too, so then you're hitting a shot after that. But I mean, Book was going to have to sit eventually, right? Like, you weren't going to just play Book. So
no, you weren't going to play him 48, but,
have faith in your guys to maintain that lead and then bring him in. You can really argue it either way, honestly. Like, unless he comes in and is just ice cold, then I think it's a different conversation. But if he comes in and is just firing and picking up where he left off, then it's all good. Eubanks down in the paint with CJ McCollum, has no idea what to do with it and turns the ball over. 49-31 here. Suns lead the Pelicans with 9:50 to go in the second quarter. We'll have a post-game show for you after this with Lindsey, Gerald, and Espo. Maybe, depending on how things go. If Espo hits his bet, he might be off. I don't know.
No, I'll be on so I can gloat like crazy.
Fair enough.
No, if I miss, maybe that's where I don't show up.
You're going to have to tune in the post-game show to find out if Espo shows up or not. That's the tease. And while you're here, make sure you hit a like on this video and subscribe to PHNX as well. And KD with a contested 3 hand in his face. I love that.
Yeah, KD going makes it a lot easier to let Book rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've seen a lot where, like we were talking about, it's one or the other. And tonight feels like you're going to have both of these guys the way we saw it in the playoffs. So you can play around with that a little bit more. I mean, KD's now 5 of 8, 3 of 5 from deep. And when he's hitting that kind of pull-up, it's his kind of night. Like,
hand in the face, nothing you can do about it.
There's no hesitation. It's not, should I dribble? It's just, I'm going to pull and I'm going to hit.
Yeah. I mean, let KD cook, man.
Let KD cook. Bull getting his minutes now.
Ooh, I like this lineup. Beal, Gordon, Durant, Bull, and Eubanks. I mean, Eubanks I'm not super thrilled about, but it's still intriguing. Bradley Beal gets the steal, almost turns it over on the other end.
Yeah, you're going...
Drew Eubanks pull up top of the key 3?
Please, no.
Hasn't missed one all season.
That does not make me want to see it.
I'm kidding.
Oh, what was that?
That was the...
Holy hell.
This is the fuck it Bull's up there somewhere.
I've watched every Cardinals quarterback over the years, every single one, and that was right up there with the Max Hall, Ryan Lindley. That was an errant throw by Bradley Beal.
There's been some very dreary quarterback battles in Arizona.
It's Stoney Case,
Skelton and Cobb,
freaking Jeff Blake. You could go through a list, but that was just a terrible.
Yeah, that was a really bad pass. Oh, geez. Okay, Nurk and Eubanks getting real physical down low.
And another guy that's gonna punch Eubanks.
I'm about to say this time it's on the court though.
That beard is spectacular.
It's a good beard. He's got a good vibe about him for what he's trying to accomplish. Like he fits what he wants to be very well.
I do like that they let him go until the very end there, where it was
just let him.
Where it was like, okay, I can't not call a foul, right?
Yeah.
I like when they let the big guys, kind of go at it a little bit on the post.
And they've let players get in general more physical. I mean, look at this with Nurkic, and no, they called it there, but Nurk basically had his entire hand extended out. But I mean, they're letting them go down low. But here's the thing: it's 52-33, 8:13 left in the second. The game is certainly not over. But if the Pelicans just want to run Jonas Valanciunas post ups for this entire comeback, like let them do that.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to figure out what works here, right? And they haven't quite found it. And again, they're going to the Valanciunas post up,
right?
Against Nurk, it's an interesting choice. I mean,
And it's not that he's very good in the post, but you're right. Like, Nurkic is not the type of dude to get bullied. It wastes a lot of time off the clock, and the best result it can be is an and one, and they're being a little bit more physical this game. The refs are letting them be. So Nurk with a nice pump fake, but misses it.
Misses both opportunities.
Man, that's tough.
Look, I understand it when you're going to Drew Eubanks because Valanciunas has a distinct size advantage.
Right.
He doesn't against Nurk, right?
No, Nurk is somebody that not many people have a distinct size advantage against.
They think they were trying to get the mismatch on Bol, but they didn't get the switch, and then Valanciunas takes that jumper at the free throw line extended, and that's something that I think you're going to have to just be all right with, right?
Yeah.
If Jonas Valanciunas wants to try to shoot them back into this game with mid-range jumpers, fine, let it be. That.
And it looks like some changes here for everybody on the court. Grayson Allen coming on. I believe Bol stepping off. Zion coming in for the Pelicans, 52-35. Eric Gordon taking a seat. Bol still on the court, so Grayson for Gordon.
They obviously had to bring Grayson back in so he could guard Zion. Yeah. Again, Nurk with the bringing the ball down before going back up, and it drives me nuts because it lets the little guys in the land of the giants slap that ball away. And luckily he got fouled here and didn't lose it, but we've seen so many times he turns over the ball there.
Yeah. And he's hitting free throws, or at least he hit his first free throw, 53-35, guys. We will take a little break when halftime does arrive. But Devin Booker now checking back into the game in case you missed it and you're just joining us. He has 24 points on 8 of 10 shooting from the field, 5 of 7 from the deep, perfect from the line to pair with 4 assists, 7:09 left to go in the second quarter. Yusuf Nurkic hits his second free throw.
I go right back to him the next time on the offense
absolutely.
And see, right? See if he's still on a heater.
And now we've got KD guarding Zion.
And they flash the double with Nurk.
Dyson Daniels misses a shot, and here we go. Book's got the ball just past the half-court line. He's attracting a lot of attention. All heads are pointed his way. Yet somehow he pump fakes a three.
I thought he was going to pull.
Me too. He's been very brazen with the three-point shots tonight.
Okay, good. That was a defensive foul. I thought it called an offensive foul.
Najee Marshall is the guy the Pelicans are tapping to guard Book, and a timeout, 54-35, 6:40
Was Book trying to teach him some kind of lesson there?
Maybe. He's like, you can't guard me that way.
That was the wrong spot you were in there, my friend.
How you feeling?
I mean, as good as you can feel, but I still don't trust. Right? Yeah, it's like any relationship. When you've been burned too many times, when you start to trust, you are hesitant. I mean,
right.
And that's where I'm at. I'm hesitant. Okay, you're doing what we hoped you'd come out and do. You still got 2.5 quarters to continue to do it.
Well,
Until
I'm glad
you do
that.
I'm not gonna get too damn excited.
Yeah, that second quarter stint without Book. It's not like they extended the lead by any means, but it's still a 19-point lead right now. And if you can push that up over 20 and finish the second half on a good note, maybe get Book a couple more shots just to get him closer to 30 at half. I mean, momentum is all in your hand. And Durant is there as well. Durant's played more minutes, but he's only scored 14 points. And I say only, like, that's not a lot. Nurk's got 10 boards, and everybody else is contributing in their own little way. Only bench points so far. Eric Gordon with 3. Royce O'Neal, Drew Eubanks, and Bol so far have put up 0, but you can't complain when you've seen this type of scoring outburst from your top 2. Well, and I'm happy. I am happy. As of right now, right this second, I am happy.
I mean, as long as Kevin Durant and Devin Booker keep shooting well, you just need that bench unit to, keep the lead. You got to be close to even with them.
Yeah.
Don't give up I don't care if you're -5, right? With that group, because they're doing their job as long as they keep that lead close to where it's at without Book. Or when KD goes out, Book in that group has to do the same thing, right? They can't give up part of that lead. That's the key. We've seen it too many times. The other team, the Suns will take the lead. The other team will start fighting back and they don't stop them. And all of a sudden a 22-point lead becomes a 6-point lead.
Yeah.
Or a 4-point lead. And then one of the two stars goes cold and all of a sudden, okay, now you're in trouble. Tonight they haven't done that yet. They've played they've stuck to their game plan. They've played well and they're playing good defense for the most part. They've held the Pelicans to 42% shooting. The 3-point shooting still a bit high. Pelicans are shooting basically 55%. So
they have 8 less attempts than the Suns, and the Suns are shooting 57%. So if you can continue the 3-point battle in that direction, even if both percentages drop a bit, you're still going to be able to hold on to this lead. But this last 6 minute and 30 seconds of the half is very important, just momentum wise, as KD takes it right down low and scores on Dyson Daniels. Just keep going, right? Like just keep putting your foot on them.
I loved that KD and Book both ran off picks on either side of Nurkic there. So he had multiple options, and he found KD for the pass, who found that lane to get in there. But Nurk picking up a foul, and that's always a concern against these bigger teams is, what does Yusuf Nurkic do, foul-wise? Because if he's off the court, they can take advantage of some of those mismatches,
Yeah, especially if Vogel's not going to tap into Thad Young. Because if they run Zion at center or something like that, it's definitely a matchup that I'd like to see Thad. But listen, keep him up 20 and keep this distance and just consistently have this throughout the game. And the tone will shift a little bit as it does, because since each game is so important and there's so much on the line right now, like it's hard not to overreact either way, whether they lose or whether they win. And if you can take the tiebreaker away from the Pelicans, win along with every other team in the Western Conference around you like they did last night, and do it in convincing fashion after the couple losses that they've had over the last 4 games, then you're feeling in a way better spot than you were 24 hours ago. Not saying that that's going to stay consistent, because who knows what's going to happen next game. But
if all those other teams keep winning, I mean, yeah, sure, you've gained ground on the Pelicans, but you're in some ways treading water, right? Because you put yourself in a situation with Book getting another basket.
It's too easy for him.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in a situation where no margin for error. So now you're hoping on other people to help you out in most cases, and that's untenable in a lot of ways.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Ooh,
and
please.
Book's on when he does that turnaround from the corner like that and hits it like it's nothing.
He just floated into that.
28 on 10 of 12 shooting.
Jeez, absolutely disgusting. Still a 20-point game, though. New Orleans sits at 3 on the other end. 5:30 left to go. Thank you for joining us. We will take a short break during halftime. But here's the only scenario where, if every other team in the West continues to take care of their business and win as well, but the Suns also do really well to end the season, then I'm not feeling as bad about wherever they would be, because if they're playing up to whatever capabilities they could play up to, that would have been disgusting. They threw that a little bit too high. Missed lob for New Orleans.
Couldn't get a handle on it, and then he kind of chucked it off the backboard.
Trying to be Blake Griffin, but not Blake Griffin. Yeah, that was really high
too far
lob.
Back.
Oof.
And he still almost connected on it. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Murphy had to reach back.
That would have been an insane dunk if he converted that. It would have been a thrunk, but my gosh.
Half an inch less on that pass, and that is a spectacular dunk there.
Yeah, Midnight Cereal in chat says Zion is a complete non-factor. Yep, and you don't know, maybe Zion is having a lazy night. I know somebody in chat mentioned that before, or maybe the Suns have a defensive scheme that takes Zion out of a lot of actions. It could be both as well. I'm not sure, but it was Zion who hit that windmill dunk as Book pulls up from mid-range and he hits it. This is one of those nights. It's one of those nights.
He's at 30 already.
Dude, he might get your bet by halftime.
Hey, don't jinx shit.
Okay, all right.
You
it's not like you haven't
did that to Shane.
Okay, we're not bringing that up anymore. That's long ago, lifetimes ago.
This is great defense and even better offense tonight. There we go, Grayson. Okay, see, this is the crazy thing, right? Some nights they are all cold, right?
Right.
Other nights, everybody and their mother is getting baskets. I think I have 2 points in this game.
You might.
That's how contagious this is with this group. I mean, Grayson's had a dunk, a beautiful layup like that. He's hit a 3 in this game. He's 3 of 4. He has 7. I mean, everybody but Beal in the starting lineup has kind of found a groove in what they're doing. Nurk, 1 of 5 from the field, but has those 10 rebounds and 4 assists. Also has a block. I mean, he's come up big. Everybody's kind of finding those little things. KD having a real great KD game. I mean, it's getting overshadowed because Book has found himself again, but
man, I want him to just keep going nuclear. And if this game is out of reach in the fourth, you probably do rest him and not play him a ton. Maybe give him a little bit of run there, but
depends. I mean,
if he wants it, then I guess play him.
No, I'm not playing him significant, but you also, if that gap closes at all at the beginning of the fourth, bring him in and close it out, because you've seen too many times that this team has found a way to give way too much back in the fourth to teams.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not one of those nights.
Just keep putting pressure on them. That's what this has been. They've just taken it straight to New Orleans at every opportunity, whether it's pulling from behind the arc or just going straight at the basket. They're getting anything that they want right now. I mean, it's shooting almost 60% for the game at 23 of 39. I mean, they only have 3 more shots than New Orleans. They're just hitting like crazy, where New Orleans has struggled. I mean, New Orleans only has 15 makes on 36 shots right now. So just keep pushing. Keep pushing the tempo. Keep pushing, putting the pressure on.
You have to, especially because you've had so many games this season where you have to take your foot off the gas. You have started playing a little bit slower. Teams have clawed your way back into it. And even if the Suns have ended up winning those games, mentally right now, this team needs a massive win. And a 46-point first quarter is a massive win. And you don't want to turn around and get outscored in the next, and they're not. So far, it's 18-12. So it's 64-40 where it stands at 4:28 left to go in the second half. Durant with 16, Book with 30. I mean, this is what you want to see from this team. And like you mentioned earlier, this could be the playoff formula where these two guys just say, you know what? It's time for us to get going. We're not in defer mode. We're not saying one or the other. We're just going to gun, and we're just going to attack, and everybody else can fill in around that.
I think that needs to be some of the mindset. Look, if there's ever a quote unquote star that'd be all right with not necessarily getting his, it's Bradley Beal, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you can have Book and KD just take over like last year, that's going to be your best chance. 12th time in his career that Devin Booker has had a 30-point half. That's insane.
That's actually disgusting. Legitimately disgusting.
Some guys don't even get close to that once in their career. Book's done it 12 times.
That's the heat check right there. He's allowed.
Definitely. I mean, he pulled. He knew what he was doing the second.
He wants those 7. He wants those 7 threes.
Look at that.
Good defense.
They're just playing solid D.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see it. 64-40 with 4 minutes left to go in this first half. I mean, listen, every big three has had... Oh, yeah, it was a tough... trying to thread the needle there by Nurk.
Tries that a little too much sometimes.
Every team that's had a big three has one of the stars that always has to sacrifice. I think Chris Bosh is probably the biggest example of that. Yeah. But, I mean, Bosh was still an incredible player with the Heat, but was a number 1 option in Toronto. Was able to put up 20 a game, like just your guy that you ran your offense through. And then he went to Miami and he had to sacrifice a lot of things. And he had to hone in on what he was good at, take good defensive assignments, rebound, pass, and hit open shots. And that's why Miami was able to win. And now you look at Bradley Beal, you can't hold him the same standard as he was in Washington, because he's shown a couple times this year he can still be that guy. He can still score close to 40, 30 plus, But he doesn't have to be that guy here. And in fact, we're not at our best if he's doing that, because there are 2 more prolific scorers.
Well, and where he can get his is on a night that one of the 2 isn't feeling it, right? And that's the way it should be. It should be at any given point, 2 of those 3 can torch you, right? And I think that's kind of what everybody kind of believed would be the case, right? And then the Grayson Allens of the world would be able to hit when they had open looks.
Yep.
And and tonight that's worked out. You got 2 or 3 stars firing on all cylinders. Grayson's hitting. Nurk is rebounding and passing, and that's that.
And that was like, this offseason when you talked about, a Nurkic pull-up three and he hits.
It's a good night when Nurk hits the three to extend your lead to 26.
He walked into that like he's been shooting them all season.
Well, I mean, he has. He just hasn't been making them.
He started off the season shooting a lot. I do remember that, where we're like, okay, we're good on Nurkic threes. But he had calmed down a bit. But that was a smooth jumper. Yeah, let me see the replay on that because he's wide open. Look at that. He knew. No hesitation, pull up, bang. Only a couple seconds left on the shot clock. He just knew what he was doing.
Book knew exactly where he was, too.
That's another assist for Devin Booker, man.
That's 5 for him.
30 and 5 with 3 minutes left to go before the half.
He leads all scorers in points and all players in assists right now.
Wow. And he was having a tough stretch coming into here, man. You always love the reminder.
Flex kind of called this the other day, but he said, hey, this is not far from Moss Point where he played his high school ball. He's got a lot of family around, that could usually come out to this game. He likes to show out in New Orleans, and he's doing just that right now.
Yeah, and I think part of that is he is the only player as well from those past series and games against the Pelicans where things have got super chippy. So I'm sure he feels a little something. And now he is guarding Zion, and Zion immediately takes it to the rim, throws it up, and that one rolls in. But still been a quiet night for Zion so far,
and made him work. It wasn't easy. So
no, he didn't just walk there, but he's Zion, so sometimes it looks like he does that.
Book just called him off,
and then called him right back over. Man,
swing it.
You want to see Book shoot every single shot right now.
Just give me.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! 33 for Booker.
Wow.
70-44 with 2:38 to go in the half.
And his 6'3".
The Suns are 13 of 22 from deep.
I mean, this is why you believe in this team. This is why. Whether you want to believe it's going to be consistent or not, whatever. But nights like tonight are why you sit back and go, damn it, I just can't get out.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
It's true, though. It's true. Because even when they're losing, you talk about moments like these, and you talk about Devin Booker being able to drop 33 and a half and Kevin Durant to add a cool 16 along with that. Like, that's not like you think about that when they look so bad, and it's moments like this that make the bad moments hurt so much as well.
That's why I can't quit them.
No,
as much as every time I feel like you could say, all right, I get it now.
It's over.
The OKC game. You see this and you go, okay, maybe they won't do it for all 7 games in a series if they make it to that point.
But they only need to do it for 4. They only need to do it for 4.
Why couldn't you do it for 4? What is that, 35? 35 and a half, and there's 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go.
He is something special, man. He is something special.
Well, and we hadn't seen it. Like, we were like,
not in a little bit,
no. What's going on with Book?
Only 24 points in March, which is like, hey, man, 24 points is still a decent amount. He lost that.
Yeah, that was a tough pass. That
his brain was ahead of his body on that one, and he just a cross into oblivion by CJ. But
I mean, his instinct was right to not take the shot and pass it to. I don't like Nurk getting off his feet.
He got pretty high there. He got pretty high, waved his arms
22-point lead, a minute 30 left to go. Devin Booker's at that 6 3-point mark, so we'll see. I'd like to see him do it in this half, so it's not.
It's not even a conversation point.
It's not like something he thinks about at halftime when he sees the stat sheet.
Jeez, man, we're so lucky to have him on this team. Nurk with another 3.
Well, he had no choice.
End of the shot.
There was like
I would hope so with that shot.
He just had to throw it up there.
Yeah, I'd hope not.
See, okay, I get it. It's still 22, but there's now some little
mental
breakdowns that just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, I don't know.
within
Is it
yourselves.
slow it down a little bit? Because
No, well, I don't mean,
the fourth quarters that they've started to blow it is when they've technically
I don't
slowed it
mean
down.
to slow the pace down necessarily, but when
Play smarter.
just slow down the thought process. Not everything has to feel like it's moving a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just, make the right choice. See,
Yeah.
because now it's 20.
Right. I mean, you got to end this last minute here. I know it's not do or die. You're up 20,
No,
but
but get a bucket or two here. And,
keep the momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, give it to Book. Yeah,
That's just a bad
they
pass
knew what they
by
were
KD,
doing though.
and there's your turnover.
Good D.
So you go from one turnover midway through this quarter for the game. Now you have four. You've had 3 in the last few minutes here.
That's off CJ.
Book.
That's off CJ.
Yeah, but do you call
I don't know. Not right now. Not up 20, but that was a really good defensive play. They still called it New Orleans ball.
Book recovered well.
Zion with another forced shot.
But that's the problem.
Valanciunas gets the rebound, yeah.
When your center has to step up and try to contest.
What'd they call?
Valanciunas timeout.
Okay.
Suns took the timeout, which I think, I get it. There's 37 seconds left, but I think it's the right thing because you can calm the guys down, come down, get a bucket, hopefully, and then get a defensive stop, and you still walk away with a 20-point lead here, or close to it, and where it felt like things were starting to snowball a little bit.
Yeah, it's the NBA, so anything can happen, anything can change, and teams can come back from down 20. And we've seen this team go ice cold, even in games that they've won. I
mean, hell, the Suns came back from down 22 with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah,
like
crazy game.
The NBA is not a league where leads are safe, and you got to look at this and act like none of these. It doesn't matter if you're up 20. You got to push it to 30. You got to, and we haven't seen New Orleans outside of this last minute or so even really take a punch or throw a punch yet in this game, which scares me because that could come at any moment. And can this team withstand it and fight back? That's another problem we've seen at times, is that team makes a push and they don't fight back hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this team's mental makeup has been what we've been concerned about for so long. And that's why coming out and just dominating a second half after all of this is also extremely important, because you just need the mental side of things. Book, stop, pop, float.
37 points. Whew! 37 points, and it was a 2-for-1 situation. Yeah. So now they should get another opportunity here.
74-54. Pelicans have the ball. 22 seconds left to go. Zion drives to the rim, and another miss at the rim for Zion. KD grabs the rebound.
And go.
15 seconds left to go. Book walking the ball up the court, man. He has a chance to get 40.
I would let him. This is him, or try to get it to KD.
Oh, man, that was close.
Man,
that was close.
I almost hit my bet in a half if he hits that.
He was
shot.
mad too. He was mad that he missed that.
It was hey, Lindsay, it's almost over.
Oh, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Oof. God, man, he is incredible when he's on.
37 points on 14 of 19 shooting, 6 of 10 from 3.
Insane.
He was perfect from the free throw line, had 5 assists. I mean, he had exactly half their points in the first half. Suns lead 74-54 at the half. Unbelievable first half for Devin Booker, but don't overlook what Kevin Durant did as well. 6 of 10 for the game, 3 of 6 from deep, 16 points, 4 rebounds, an assist and a steal. So KD had a great first half as well. Devin Booker, otherworldly, and we've seen him do it in New Orleans before. I believe he had 58 already once this season in New Orleans. We'll see what he does in the second half. We will be back at the start of the second half. Myself, Eric Ruby, is the PHNX Watchalong, and we'll see you right after halftime. Welcome back in. It is the PHNX Watchalong. It's Suns. It's Pelicans. Second half underway in New Orleans. Suns up 74-54. If you missed the first half, well, you missed a hell of a lot, and most of it came from Devin Booker. So he had 37 points in the half. That's right. It is his 12th time with 30 points or more in a single half in his career, which is insane. Just crazy here. New Orleans scores. We're at the 11:26 mark. If you want to follow along with us and sync up, you can do it there. Appreciate you all watching along with us, and please forgive me as I finish a little bit of my dinner as well while we're doing this.
It's okay. We are allowing Espo to eat today.
Five straight hours on a mic. I gotta sneak it in while I can.
Yeah, we'll allow it as Yusuf Nurkic hits a Eurostep floater to start the half, backed up to a 20-point lead. A little stat up on the broadcast right now says the Phoenix Suns are 8-1 when scoring 70-plus points in the first half. But emphasis on that one. It can still happen. You still want the Suns to come locked in for the second half. What's your biggest key or biggest thing that you're looking for?
Let Book cook.
Yeah.
I mean, KD and Book are what are going to determine this game in the end. If they keep shooting well, they'll be able to maintain this lead. If they don't, you're going to have problems.
Yep. And a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I mean Psycho Blue, pointing out in the chat that Book is already at his limit for threes. He's hit 6, so that's about it for the night on him. But he just pulls up from top of another one.
There we go!
He did it! He did it!
Number 7!
He did it! Wow. And you hit your bet.
A new career high.
Bang!
And I hit my bet.
So many demons exercised on one possession.
A minute and a half into the third quarter, I hit my bet that Devin Booker would have 40 or more points at a plus 1,200 for the evening, which...
wow.
You know,
crazy shot, too. That was not an easy three.
Yeah.
He really did it.
I think I can just take the rest of the night off.
Yeah,
I've done my job.
You've gotten your meal in, so you know.
Oh
my gosh!
I think I'm over 500 now.
As far as bets,
yeah, yeah, because I was 130 that I'll put on the board. I was.
I thought you meant like
you've
hit over half of your bets, and I'm like, that's certainly not the case. I'm sorry.
$500 now.
Oh man, the Book, like hitting 7 threes has been a storyline forever, absolute ever.
And now it's buried. Not. Now let's get to 10. What's the record? 14 for a game. Let's just go after it. Why not?
Maybe it was the watch-along. Maybe he knew, or maybe he heard Psycho Blue's Baker Mayfield allegations in
I think
pregame.
It was more that. I think he was offended by that completely. I think it's safe to do the Photoshop on our big bright shining star tonight.
Yeah,
I go to the line now with a chance for 42.
Jeez, I'm not even gonna say it, but we could be in for something special tonight, man. Buddha says, can he beat Grayson's record now? Listen, he can.
Anything is possible.
He really can. Like, now that he's hit 7, it really does feel like anything is possible, because there was that little bit in the back of all of our heads. I'm not just going to say my head, all of our heads. I was thinking, okay, but he's still at 6. I mean, is he going to get 7?
I said that when I walked over and saw Lindsay and Gerald in the recliners over there. I said, I want him to hit that last one, not because of my bet, but I didn't want him to see 6 on that stat sheet at halftime.
I don't know. 6 might have pissed him off, because you know that he's aware. You know he's aware of it.
Career high, 7 3-pointers.
Well, tied career, technically high.
Well,
regular season.
Regular season. Playoff stats don't count in your...
Which I think is weird.
Your overall stats.
There we go. Crack that beverage, Espo. You deserve it.
It's just seltzer water, don't you?
It's really all you, man. You put Book to score 40. He saw that and said, I need to do this for Espo tonight.
No, I actually think he saw that Flex was not in the PHX and thought it is time to return to my old ways with Flex back in Jersey. So.
Does Flex need to be in Jersey for the Suns to succeed? That's the burning question right now.
Saul not here, Flex in Jersey. I mean,
shoot.
Let your stars cook, right? That's all I'm saying. So,
I mean, that's what the Suns are doing. Oh,
Hey,
guys.
there's 60 of you in here, and we only have 30 likes. Hit that like button
Only
now.
30
Do
likes,
you like
Espo?
Devin Booker scoring 40-plus in a game or in a quarter and 2 quarters and a little bit of a third? If you do, hit the like button.
Yeah, I cannot believe that Devin Booker is performing like he is tonight, and we only have that amount of likes, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to PHNX. Plus, if this is just not enough Suns content for you, which I'm sure it's not because you guys in here are sickos in the best way possible, we got our post-game show coming up right after this as well. Gerald and Lindsay will be back. It's 83-60, 8:47 left to go in the third quarter if you want to match up with us. Devin Booker on a heater. Kevin Durant still quietly scoring 16 points. That's not bad. Third leading scorer is Yusuf Nurkic with 10.
It's only quietly because of what the other
Because
guys
of the other number being 42.
Yeah. I mean, he shot very well. Grayson with the corner.
And Grayson being efficient as well. He's 2 of 3 from behind the arc, 4 of 6 from the field. Just
10
getting
points.
buckets where he has the opportunity.
Yeah, he joins the double-digit scorers. And now everybody in the starting lineup, sans Bradley Beal,
I didn't like that fall.
is now in double figures.
Devin Booker going back to the line with chances at points 43 and 44.
He's wearing the Moss Point blue.
There you go.
Gray. Actually, those might actually be the Moss Point blue that are coming out later. I couldn't tell from that. I've been so transfixed with his offense, I haven't looked at his footwear this evening.
I think it could be a lighter blue hue. And he
Ooh.
misses a free throw, man.
It
Well,
looked
is
looked a
Devin
little
Booker the worst
uncomfortable.
basketball player ever? Up next.
Yeah. What are we?
Has he fallen off?
What are we? Old school SI?
Devin Booker had an opportunity to score at the line. He missed. Does that mean that he's the worst basketball player on
Why
the
is-
planet?
Did they not count that?
That free throw? Was there a
hell was
lane
going-
behind it? Well, he was going to shoot
What the hell
two.
was going? No, but he missed the first.
Yeah.
So he just shot another one, and now
maybe they did call a lane
must not have been
violation.
set.
They said Devin Booker missed. Something was wrong. Something was wrong.
No, they. I think that New Orleans wasn't set yet because he did miss the free throw, so they must not have been set when he took that second one.
Yeah, New
43
Orleans.
points for Buck.
Whew. New Orleans leading scorer is Trey Murphy, the third at 14 points. Right now, Zion has 10. Jonas Valanciunas has 9, and CJ McCollum has 8. Devin Booker, if I'm doing the math correctly, he might be outscoring the entire Pelicans starting lineup. Let's see, 24, 30, 38. Okay, so they have 47 points right now, the Pelicans starting lineup. Booker has 43.
Oh, he's 3 hunting. Ooh.
Maybe he doesn't know he already got 7.
that
Maybe he
was-
thinks he still needs
That
it.
was a real weird path. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to take a mini." Nope, I'm going back into the 3-point line. It's kind of that snake pattern there.
Nurkic with a quiet 10 and 13. Everything is quiet when you're next to Devin Booker when he's like this, but Zion gets that lefty finish in the lane. It's technically still a game, 87-64, 7 minutes left to go in the third. But just keep playing like you're playing, keep feeding the ball to Book. Book has not been a ball hog either. I mean, he's shot the ball a lot, but he also leads the team in assists. He just hit another shot? Yeah, he just hit another 3. He's hit another freaking 3.
8 for the game now.
Jeez.
They have 90 points midway through the third quarter.
Yeah, he has a chance at what Grayson Allen has gotten close to doing multiple times this season. We'll just have to see.
Org McFubin says those are the ashen slate he thinks on Book. Look, just keep doing what you're doing offensively and don't get sloppy defensively. And I know this is a bit of PTSD because we've seen this team struggle at times and they're starting to make those sloppy turnovers again, but
I think it's realistic. I don't think it's like, out there to see a team that has played like they have this season. Good timeout by Frank. 90-68, Zion takes in the lane and score.
They had 1 turnover or 0 turnovers
in the first quarter.
In the first quarter. They have had 10 cents.
Not great.
9 cents.
Not great.
So in a quarter and a half, they've committed 9 turnovers.
Yeah, and they've still been
that's
able
the-
to keep the lead.
But that's the way you let an opponent back in, is by being sloppy like that. And that's what we've seen all season from this group. And I'm not saying that anything, is going to happen, but that always makes me nervous because bad habits stay even when you're
Yeah.
winning big. And if you get lazy and you allow it, it solidifies itself. So in games that are close, you still make those kind of issues or have those kind of issues.
Yeah, and I think that it's okay to have a couple more turnovers if you're winning the 3-point battle like they are tonight, which is like decisively. They have more makes than the Pelicans have attempts. Phoenix is 16 of 31 from 3. That's 51.6%. Of course, Devin Booker accounting for 8 of those 16 on 8 of 14 shooting from deep. Pelicans 7 of 15 from deep. So they have 15 attempts. The Suns have 16 makes. You can afford to turn the ball over a couple times because the Pelicans have only turned the ball over 5 times when you are out shooting from 3 like that. But of course, shooting like this from deep is going to be an anomaly from night to night. As we've seen with the turnovers, that's not.
Well, like we've talked about, 30 assists is a barometer for this team that is usually extremely positive. They have 22 tonight.
Yeah.
Out shooting your opponents from 3 is always a positive, check mark for them. They have great records when both those things happen, and they have a 9 3-pointer lead in that category. So everything that you check the box seems to be in your favor.
Yeah.
Right now.
The only box score statistic that they are trailing in or have a worse number than is steals and turnovers. They have more turnovers and they have less steals. But it seems like everybody gets a crazy high amount of steals against the Suns. Like this Pelicans team already has 8. I know OKC had like 12 one game. It is these lazy passes that they do continue to force. But again, if this team can fire offensively at their peak, and that does include Devin Booker scoring 46 points in less than 3 quarters, then you're going to be okay with a couple more turnovers. If you're going to keep turning the ball over, you got to keep the scoring up, or if your scoring is going to go down, you got to tighten up with the ball. So it's an either or thing, or if you could do both, then that's perfect. 16 of 22, 8 of 14 from deep, 46 points for number 1.
He's committing to not cutting that hair too.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I just wonder if you go into the playoffs, is he's also going to commit to not cutting the hair? Because if you let it grow out into the playoffs and then through the playoffs, it can get pretty long. I'm
tempted to not trim the beard at all.
Okay, so you talked about gravity, which I don't know. I think you should have a playoff beard for sure. You might only have it for a day. Talk about gravity though. Devin Booker has 46 points as Yusuf Nurkic gets an and 1 in the paint. He was relatively open on that play because they were doubling Kevin Durant.
Yep.
So to have somebody who can have 46 points and to share a court with somebody who attracts double teams, that's huge. And of course, when the Book gets the ball back, then he gets a double team. But still,
Book 7 assists.
Yeah.
Tonight.
He nobody else is super close at assists. Bradley Beal has 5, and Grayson Allen and Yusuf Nurkic have 4. But his 7 is tied for the highest in the game with C.J. McCollum as well. And C.J. McCollum, for reference, only has 10 points. So a little bit different. And they're calling a foul. Look, this is it, man. Like, you wanted them to come out at the start of the second half and keep their foot on their necks. They did. Devin Booker continued to come out firing, hit 7 threes, hit 8 threes. And now New Orleans is kind of in a do or die mode because you want to start making punches now and not let Phoenix grow this lead anymore, especially at home. So this is where Phoenix really needs to lock up and not let them score like CJ McCollum just did.
That's an easy bucket.
Yep.
And you're still up 23, but you don't want that to shrink to 15, 16 before the fourth quarter and then lose some of that margin for error if you have another bad fourth.
See, Bradley Beal was so fast on that drive, he had no control of his body when he hit the rim. I would have liked him to take that layup. Oh, but Book, the lefty touch.
I thought we were getting the dunk. I thought he was going to throw down.
He's so skilled with that left hand.
48 now.
Jeez, with 5 minutes left to go in the third. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. We've been needing this as a fan base as New Orleans turns around and hits a 3. But listen, just keep scoring. Keep that, like, don't trade 3s and 2s and try to keep getting Book the ball and ride that momentum. And you should be able to keep this Pelicans team at bay as Allen pulls up deep 3.
I would have rather have seen him swing it one more time to KD in the corner there.
Yeah. Or I like Grayson's ability to drive. Speaking of.
Okay.
Wow.
So Zion can just throw his shoulder into a dude like that.
Well, Bradley Beal's allowed to get thrown around on defense. That just is what happens.
I mean, watch this. This is just bully ball. He throws his shoulder into him, just like we saw Giannis do in the past, not to Beal, but Giannis gets that too. Like, what are you supposed to do as the defender?
No, the NBA has to look into that because it's not just a Suns thing where the offensive player just puts all of their force and energy directly into the defender and knocks them over, throws the ball up, and they get the foul call. It's like, as a defender, like there really is nothing that you can do.
Well, and if he hits this, it's under 20 now.
Yeah, 95-75 with Zion at the line. You just have to not let them get a knockout blow, right? And a knockout blow would be like a 10-0 run.
Yeah,
you can't give up a 10-0 run.
That's I still back to that play. I don't know what the defender can't do anything.
Nothing.
I mean, your
And
best
Zion
bet
gets
is
a
to
bunch of
olay
buckets
him
like
and
that.
hope he falls over, basically.
Well, right, or to try to draw a charge, but NBA refs is Grayson's is trying to take some bodies tonight. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I love when he's aggressive like that. He's just got that killer. I'm gonna MF you here. I don't care. Like,
No, he does not care. He's fearless. And he's smart too. And I think the fearlessness comes with the smarts because he knows that he's such a good shooter that if he drives as well, that is just playing chess instead of playing checkers.
those fouls from behind like that make me
Scary.
so nervous.
Yeah, his Grayson misses a free throw.
Because I mean, there's the guy going up for the dunk has very little recourse.
No.
Or very little way to protect himself at that point.
Well, especially because guys are trained not to hang on the rim anymore, which I think is stupid. You get a tech for hanging on the rim, but that's actually the safest way for you to land. And the backboards simply cannot shatter. Amari proved it to us in sports science.
But in that case, there was just, I mean, he's in no man's land by the time he gets up there. He thinks he's
there's
going to
nothing you
get
can
the
do.
dunk, and somebody hits him from behind,
Yeah, that's tough. There's been some pretty scary moments of that just across NBA history. I think we got a great comment to Zion. He's starting to hit some shots now. Eric with a K. Thank you, Eric with a K, for spelling your name the right way. Says this is better than the live YouTube box scores with the porno background music. So we have reached that bar.
We can do some of that.
Play the boom room music. No, I think we are technically better than that, but not by much.
Depends on
Not by much.
Depends on what you want to do.
That's fair.
It's okay. I'm getting worried here, right?
Yeah, 96-78. Pelicans have a little momentum now. You got to stop the
I mean,
bleeding.
The Pelicans right now are like the pizza guy in those movies. They're scoring, and I'm just concerned.
Oh, can we
right
not
now.
go into just?
Hey, you're the one that read the comment. I don't.
No,
like
I know. Book is on the ground, breathing heavily. I
Get
think
up, Book.
I looked to the side from your comment. I didn't see what happened. You just run to a hard screen.
Ankle maybe. Kind of sidestepped it and slipped.
Yeah, I don't love that, but
Although,
he's up.
Is it his? I don't know what it is.
I thought it could maybe be his arm too.
I wish they would show the replay at a different angle because you couldn't see the bottom half of his body in that replay. I don't know if maybe he caught an elbow near the head too because he was doing that eye thing. That, the guys do when they get hit in the face area too.
And I didn't see it at first, but the way that he was laying, it made it seem like he got the wind knocked out of him, but it was not heavy contact. So definitely want to keep an eye on that as he has 48 points with 3:19 left to go in the third. Right now, Eric Gordon and Drew Eubanks just checked in for Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic. So it's those two, Grayson Allen, Katie, and Devin Booker. 3:15 left. The Suns are up by 16. New Orleans making a little bit of a run behind Zion, who now has 19 points, and Trey Murphy, who has 17. So Suns need to keep the momentum, and Book misses a three.
Wide open.
Yeah, wide open three. Almost too wide open.
You got to end this quarter
on a high note. You can't give them the momentum.
If you let them get it to 10 or 12, all of a sudden
they get foul calls too.
All of a sudden you start to get in your own head too.
Yeah.
It's not just fans that are like, oh, here comes the fourth quarter.
Right.
Players can get in that mindset too.
Well, especially we've seen this team back when, the fourth quarter has always been a problem, but back when it was really starting to become something gaining national traction, you could kind of see it, man. They were up in fourth quarters, and even in games that they won, they just looked like they didn't want to be there. And a 16-point lead is still good, but if New Orleans can get momentum, get Zion working, get CJ working as well at home going into the fourth, and you have it close to 10 points, which is just a couple bucket turnaround right now. 2 threes, and it's a 10-point game.
Well, and And look at this now. The shots, the number of shots have swung in favor of the Pelicans. I'm pretty sure the Suns had the advantage at halftime. Now the Pelicans have taken 65 shots to the Suns 60.
So at halftime, Pelicans had 48 shots, Suns had 46.
Okay, so it was a two shot.
Yeah, it was a
difference.
2 shot
So
difference.
Now it's 5. They've gotten 3 more opportunities here in the second half than the Suns, and that's when the math starts working against you. When you have when they have more opportunities, they're just going to have a better chance to cut into that lead.
Yeah.
It's 16 now. They're going to the free throw line for 2 more with 2:51 to go in the third, and you have to find a way to stop the bleeding.
Right.
You need to score off these free throws, and you can't press, mentally press right now. You've got to continue to play that free-flowing ball that you were that got you this lead. You start getting in your head, you slow things down, you start questioning things or not pulling as easily as you were early on. You're going to wind up putting yourself in that situation in the fourth that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, and the scary part is this Pelicans run has happened while Devin Booker's been on the court.
Yeah.
And it's going to be his time to sit soon. And you're going to need to sustain those minutes in a similar way like you did in the first half where you're able to keep that lead. But now, in the first half, there was no Pelicans momentum. If they end this quarter on a good note, then they're basically playing with, quote, nothing to lose because they've already been down by 20 at home, and their guys are starting to cook at the right time against a team with a history of fourth quarter problems.
And
you don't want to have that happen.
And they understand the importance here of this game for them. The Suns would win the tiebreaker with as close as the West is. That could be the difference between the playoff and the play-in for these teams, and that is just not an area that you want to find yourself in. Cesar in the chat says, Espo, how much did you win? I won 130 on my Booker to score 40 bet, which puts me over the $500 mark in our little contest today. We'll have all of that shortly to show you in the post game. We'll show you the leaderboard and how big my victory has been. Hit that like button. You're in here, you're enjoying it, or you're left your computer on while you went and did other things. But if you're watching, you're enjoying, hit that like button. It helps us. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe there as well. It helps us out, and we'll keep doing these watch-alongs as long as there is an appetite for it. We will keep doing that. Our scoreboard has frozen here. It's 96-81 there. We'll try to get that fixed as well for you there. It is fixed. There you go. All of you can now see the score. Actually, Eric, I'm not seeing it on the screen. It'll show up. All right. I'm watching myself. I'm helping produce while talking.
It's a little slower on the back end than it is on the front
there
end.
We
but
go.
It is changed.
All right.
Have faith in me, Espo. Have
you
faith.
need Eubanks to hit these, and he hits the first. They're 97-81. Brad Beal going to check back into the game for the Suns. For Grayson Allen here, as Allen's going to get his breather going into the fourth quarter. I mean, you need these guys to pull something. This bench guys to give you something, right? It's been kind of a quiet night for the bench.
Only 3 points.
So. I mean, and 2 of them just actually, I think it's 5 now.
Yeah, 5 because Eubanks just hit the free throws.
Those. So you need them to do something here. And get a defensive rebound would be nice. The Pelicans score, cut it back to 15.
Can I say something? Kern Elia in the chat says, everyone is out of rhythm now. Thanks, Book. I knew that was going to happen.
What?
If that's your takeaway from 48 points in 3 quarters, and the man also has 7 assists, maybe 8 right there if he just got another one.
Yeah, Bradley Beal hitting a 3. He looks really out of rhythm.
Yeah, I that's just that's not a fun way to watch basketball. You're totally entitled to your opinion, and maybe some people haven't taken as many shots because Book is on a heater, but just enjoy 48 points on 17 of 24 shooting before the fourth quarter even starts.
You turn Katie into a statue for the entire game, watching Book throw up shots and not moving the ball. He has 8 assists.
Yeah, I don't know what you
He
want.
has 48 points. Like
That's just like at that point you just want something to be true instead of actually looking for the truth. And if that's how you want to watch, fine. You have every right to watch it that way.
I'm just gonna guess that Kern was a Kevin Durant fan first before he was a Suns fan, and that's fine. You can follow your guy, but there's obviously a bit of a bias as Drew Eubanks cleaning up the glass there. Those are the kind of hustle things that'll make the difference in a game like this.
And it seems small, but you got to keep this game above double digits going into the fourth. Because if you can get it into double digits, if the Suns were in an opposite position, we would be talking about how this game is still within reach. Momentum is good. Oh, I thought he stepped out of bounds. Okay, they threw it out of bounds anyway.
Look, I want to see them get this back up to 20.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, yes, absolutely.
Because that gives you enough margin for error, hopefully, even if you have a bad fourth to keep it going. So
yeah, and if you're worried about the lead slipping away, I would say Devin Booker is not exactly at fault for that. There are other things you can point to as well, including total team turnovers, but right now it's 103-86. Devin Booker, Eric Gordon, Bradley Beal, Drew Eubanks, and I believe Royce O'Neal are out on the court right now. 45 seconds left to go in the third. It's Dyson Daniels, Najee Marshall, Larry Nance Jr., Jordan Hawkins, and CJ McCollum on the court for New Orleans. Bradley Beal takes it to the rim, passes it out, and that was a terrible pass by Royce O'Neal.
Just a bad decision there.
Ooh, interesting take by Najee Marshall, and it's a 103-88, 15-point game. 27 seconds left to go in the third. You really want a bucket here. Drew Eubanks ignoring Devin Booker. That was nice. All right, let's see something here. 24 seconds left. This is basically last shot of the quarter if you time it right.
Yeah, you're about 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds different from.
But they're not going to burn a timeout, so you can live with a full court heave. Bradley Beal gets the ball taken away from him. 5 seconds left. And that is a dunk. It's a 103-90 game with 1.5 seconds left to go.
They're doing the stupid stuff, the turnovers, the sloppy ball handling.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker, Kern, I appreciate you watching, but man, it's pretty obvious that you have a narrative that you want to see here, and you're you're welcome to feel that way. But Devin Booker has been fairly efficient tonight and has those eight assists. Like, I get that sometimes this offense goes a little stagnant, but I don't think you can blame it on the guy with 48 and 8 assists, and only 2 turnovers as well on it,
Well, especially when it's not like he has 0 assists, right? Or he's shooting like DeJounte Murray, like 20 of like 52. He's shooting efficiently. He's hit the most threes that he's hit in his regular season career so far. He's moving the ball. Nobody else besides KD at the start has been putting their imprint on this game. They've needed him to do this. And you can't just say, oh, well, now the lead is slipping away and it's Devin Booker's fault that everybody else isn't stepping up to help him. That's just, you can't do that. Come on, Kern.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't do that. You can't do that. Kerr says, is his shot selection not bad?
No.
Not when he's shooting 17 to 25 from the field and 8 to 15 from 3. You can shoot whatever shot you want if you're going to hit over 50% from behind the 3-point line and overall.
And these aren't bad shots. He hits these
not for
on
Devin
the
Booker.
Regular. I mean, that's
Landry Shamet was taking these shots. It'd be a different story.
Most guys are taking, but when Kevin Durant backs a guy down, does a spin, turn around, and hits a shot that's difficult for 99% of the NBA, you don't say that's a bad shot. Just enjoy the ride with it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it's fine. It says you two are either missing the point or ignoring it. Your point is that Devin Booker shoots the ball a lot and other people can't get in a rhythm. KD has 12 shots today. Like, Grayson Allen is shooting over 50%. He's taking 7 shots, but he doesn't seem out of rhythm. Nurkic is 4 for 9. That's a normal Nurkic night. And so you can maybe argue Bradley Beal, or you want to argue the bench. And I would say the bench could be more opened up if a guy like, Yusuf Nurkic would play with them, or Thad Young that could move the ball in that secondary position besides the primary ball handler. But at the end of the day, it's not on Devin Booker to make other guys hit shots and to take shots. And I get what you are saying. It's not that I'm missing the point. It's just that I don't think that point completely tells the story. And that's just my opinion. That's my
Connor
perspective.
says, Paul George, is that you? Start of the fourth here, 103-90. Suns up by 13. And we'll see where this goes. This has obviously been, as some would say, the witching hour for the Suns, a difficult quarter throughout the year. And they have to play well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's
On the road, like
and a game you need.
Yeah, against a team that's right next to you in the standings that you have another one against very soon. And you want to get that one that's on the road. And they just flashed a graphic up on the TV. The Pelicans are 0-19 when trailing after the third quarter. That feels like a jinx of a graphic if I've ever seen one. So gotta just play strong here, man. See who is out on the court right now. You got Drew Eubanks, Eric Gordon, Royce O'Neal, Bradley Beal, and one for Najee Marshall driving to the rim. So that's not what you would like to see.
11 and a chance to make it 10. And this is okay for people talking about other guys not getting in the groove or whatever. This is KD. This is Beal's time. They have the opportunity now. It's their offense to run, and this is where we've seen issues throughout the years in these 3 minutes, 4 minutes without Book to start a fourth that they struggle, and they can't afford to now.
Missed free throw from Najee Marshall. That keeps it an 11-point game. Drew Eubanks, KD, Royce O'Neal, Bradley Beal, Eric Gordon, 11:28 left to go in the third as Bradley Beal hits the floor. That's interesting. Now I got Drew Eubanks driving. This is a broken possession. 2 seconds left. Eric Gordon deep three, and he misses.
You want to talk about KD? Why is he not demanding the ball there?
That's Devin. Espo, it's Devin Booker's fault.
Yeah,
that's what you don't understand. It's actually Devin Booker's fault that he's sitting down right now and that other players aren't demanding the ball.
Well, come on, you want these guys have to take over now. It's an 11-point game, and KD trying here, but it takes an off-balance shot that gets fouled, so he's going to go to the line. And that's as long as they call this game evenly down the stretch and they don't lean towards the home team, I'm fine. I'm fine with it here, right?
Oh yeah, it was a foul.
I mean, he gave him a little shove before that. I hate when Drew Eubanks
he does not grab the ball; he just throws it. And part of the reason why the Suns were out to such a huge lead at the start of the game is because KD was playing really well, and you've seen him kind of quiet down and become a little bit less efficient in that second half. I believe that's going to be his 17th point because he just hit the free throw there, but only 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 8 from the line. Not terrible stats and not terrible numbers, but from where he was kind of trending at the beginning of this game, he's slowed down a bit. But now, like you said, now is his time. Now is Bradley Beal's time, Royce O'Neal's time, like Eric Gordon time.
Well, this is why you have 3 stars.
Yep.
So if one guy's on a heater but has to sit, the other guys pick it up. That's just the way it should work here.
Yeah. Good break on that CJ miss. Still a 13-point game with 10:38 left to go. Make sure you hit that like button in here. 85 of you watching right now, and I know there ain't 85 likes on this video, so we definitely need you guys to do that. Do it for a Yusuf Nurkic dunk.
Thank you, Royce, for not actually driving to the bucket and shooting.
Not taking the layup.
That one, it always terrifies me when he decides to do this.
Yeah, it would be nice to capitalize on this game from Book, have him come back in. I mean, it's still a close enough game that you're going to need him and have him score another 10, 15 points. But at the end of the day, you need this win, right?
Just get the dub at all costs. I don't care what it takes, who it takes, how you do it, who takes what kind of shots. Make them and win this one. Like this, if you somehow wound up not being able to pull this off, that is a knockout blow for your season.
Yeah, and it's a knockout blow for your confidence too, because you experience the same things as a player. You see the failures and you see the faults, and if you can't do that, man.
But we're back to ISO ball,
and we're back to bad shots too.
Like it's just ISO ball. It's rushed. Just
Royce O'Neal with a layup.
All right, but there, if you miss it, it's like you had an opportunity to reset, right? Like. Sometimes they get over their skis. They get so amped up and they make bad decisions with it. It's a wide open 3.
Yep, New Orleans still fighting back.
14-point game.
I mean, the thing is they haven't been able to pull it with under double digits. And that's a big momentum swinging point. So you can give credit to the Suns without Book that they have not allowed that yet, as Book is still not, ready to check back in. But they need the bench to score, they need KD to score, and they need Bradley Beal to score. Or play really good defense and lock them up right now.
We're back to this slow down
He hits
offense.
it, though.
I mean, but that case in point, right? Most guys, you say that wasn't a quality shot. With Kevin Durant, it is a quality shot, right?
Yeah, and I get what Kern is saying about Devin Booker taking lots of shots as he is actually checked in or at the score table getting ready to check in. On another night, like that San Antonio game, the second one, Devin Booker was shooting people out of the flow of the offense. And I think that's a valid point to make. And if Devin Booker comes back and misses 5 straight shots and continues to take the same amount of shots that he was taking in the first half, again, valid point. I just think for this game specifically, for what's going on right now, I don't believe that point applies. Not that I can't see what you mean in that point or that you're always wrong, but
I also think part of it is this offense, though, too. Eric Gordon with another in-close miss. But this offense lends itself to a lot of ISO ball that happens, right? It winds up weirdly clogged and guys, a certain number of guys taking those shots.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder how much of it's predicated by the offensive scheme and how much of it is guys going off script and doing it,
Yeah, or how much of it is not having a huge script to follow, maybe, because you could say, oh, we have so many star players and at least one, if not two, is going to be on the court at every time. Just run through them, right? But obviously at this point, it's not the best. But Devin Booker checks back into the game. What's got you crackling up over there?
Midnight Cereal has the comment of the night. This is the most weird fan base ever. Suns are up 17.
It's true.
Yeah,
but there's PTSD involved, brother.
Well, no, but I think it's more people complaining about a guy with 48 points and all that.
Again, on another night, your point is valid. Tonight is not that night. And Book's back in. He wants the ball. He's high and deep in that corner right now. But KD has the ball at the top of the key. 7:44 left in the game if you're trying to match up with us. See, and that's what I don't like as well, is that Devin Booker has 48 points to check back in the game. He didn't even touch the ball on his first offensive possession.
Nobody did. It was KD backed into that, and I think he had made up his mind that he was taking that shot.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. And that's for everybody. You don't want to see a ball hog in basketball. But there are certain exceptions, and I believe that tonight is one of those for Devin Booker and his shot, which I still think that his 8 assists prove he's not being a ball hog. He's still passing when it's the right play to make.
Yeah.
And we've seen games where Book doesn't make the right play every single time, but more often than not, he does. And I would say this is one of those games I can't think about many wrong plays that Devin Booker has made.
Let's be honest, no player makes the right play every time.
No.
I mean that's just the thing. No player makes the right play every time. Even Michael Jordan failed a bunch. Let's not act like perfection is what these guys are striving for, because it's not something you're ever going to get.
No, it's not. And you just got to appreciate greatness when you see it and call out, stuff that needs to change when you see it. And I think both are completely valid points, but I do believe that sometimes we look a little bit too much into the negative when some incredible basketball is happening right before our eyes. So 112-95. 7:08 left to go in this fourth quarter. If you're just joining us right now, hit that like button and subscribe. There will be a post-game show still. Gerald and Lindsay will be back here. Espo will stay on. I'll be behind the Mac. And hopefully we could talk about the Suns holding on to a victory here, as New Orleans is threatening a little bit right now.
Yep, so it's down to a 15-point lead again. Suns are going to take a timeout here. Travis L. says, it's because it feels like we've watched this episode of, quote, Tonight on the Phoenix Suns, quote, before.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to until this season is over. And let's just say they make a miraculous run. Excuse me. You're not going to be able to take that away from people. You're not going to be able to take that feeling away. That's just going to be realities, because you're always going to wait for that other shoe to drop, because it's dropped so many times this season.
Look, close this one out. It's not going to fix everything. It's not going to make people all of a sudden 100% believe in you, but you win it. You go play a quality game against Cleveland, and it's cliche, but right now all you can do is take it one night at a time.
Yeah.
And that's even nights you're not playing. You got a scoreboard watch then and hope for
Right.
luck from other people because you've allowed your fate to be in other people's hands right now.
Yeah. I mean, and I know for sure says you guys are on during a game. That's right. We're locked in too.
It's been, what is this, our third straight year?
Fourth.
Fourth straight?
We did
Five in the last 6, I think.
yeah, we did the Spurs loss. We did the Denver win, and we did the OKC loss. And so if we're alternating,
And then
we're in time for a win.
Yep, we are.
But yes, we are live during a game. Appreciate everybody tuning in right now. Of course, there will still be a post-game show. But with this game specifically, man, I can't imagine a scenario unless New Orleans really makes a crazy run at the end where I'm disappointed leaving this game because this is a recipe to win where you find the hot hand, everybody else fills in around them, and you just ride that lead throughout the game and you don't let the other team get too much momentum because while it is still maybe not as big as a lead as it was at one point, I mean, 112-97 with 7 minutes left is still a good lead to work with and to hold on to.
It never is in the NBA, right? It never is a lead that stays or balloons.
No.
A team always makes a run. Again, they've weathered that storm. They keep pushing it back up to that 17-18 mark, and New Orleans gets it back down a little bit. But the thing is, you can't allow that 10-0 run, that 12-0 run. That's where you get in trouble. Right now, they're going toe-to-toe a little bit, and you've afforded the ability to do that since you built that big lead.
Right. And to their credit, like they have multiple times before in this season given up that 10-0 run. Even that Denver game, it was very hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. And even when Devin Booker's been off the court and the bench has been on, like you've gotten enough from everybody else to be consistent. And there's never been a point in this game where the Suns have been out of control. And there's still a lot of time left to go and anything can happen. You can't just count this as a win already, especially with some of the late game performances this team has had. But you call a spade, they've been in control all game. And Kevin Durant misses a wide open three. So let's see if that continues.
Book and the offense swinging it around and got a quality look there.
Yeah. He made the right play. And shooting that was the right play as well. It's just sometimes the ball doesn't go in the hoop. 112-97. Jonas Valanciunas takes a contested corner 3 and breaks it. We'll live with that.
I'll always be all right with the Jonas contested 3 there.
And now you're watching the Suns slow the game down a little bit more. I'm very conflicted on this because, yes, you're playing with the lead, and that's kind of the right thing to do, but a lot of these bad fourth quarter problems have come from the Suns getting out of rhythm and playing slower.
I think there's a difference in calming down things when they get hectic and playing a slow half court game. I feel like this is on purpose to try to get them not in that frantic mode.
It's their choice.
They're not doing it as a prevent, I don't feel like. I think it's all right, guys, let's just calm this back down.
Right.
And we can get back to putting the pressure on them. But we don't have to be frantic about it.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like, they're having to play slow because New Orleans has figured something out, or they're having to play slow because something isn't working for them. They're just playing slow because, like you said, it's a choice. And let's just hope that they can continue to score in the half court. Which they haven't done as efficiently in the second half or really in the past the first quarter, but they've still done good enough to hold on to the lead they built.
You get another Zion drop his shoulder.
Man.
This is where playing the smaller lineup is difficult, right?
Yep.
Because you could just take advantage of it, especially when the refs are allowing this kind of contact. Again, he bully balls Beal and pushes through with his arm. There's nothing that Bradley Beal can do in that situation.
And that happens to Bradley Beal, I feel like, more than anybody else on this team because he's usually the guy who's guarding up a position with Grayson Allen as well.
That's a massive flaw in the construction of this group. And it's just something you have to accept at this point because there's not much you can do about it.
No.
But that's frustrating. 13-point game. Suns up 113-100 with 5:38 to go. And Zion's gotten it going a little bit. Book from way down.
I don't like that.
They're out of rhythm again.
Yeah, I don't like that. And I mean, this game is very much far from over. Like, this is not a complete game. You know, sure, it's Suns have a lead to work with, and they just got a turnover, so that helps. But in the NBA, this is still anybody's game right now. You got to play smart and you got to play efficient.
There, now you're moving the ball around a little bit.
And then KD.
I like KD attacking Zion.
And no foul call. That's tough. That's a tough possession right there.
You got to get up and get back. You can't let your team be on a,
Ow. Whoa.
I think it was
He get hit in the face again.
I think it was incidental contact, but damn, that looked like it hurt.
Yusuf Nurkic's face is a magnet for other people's fists and elbows.
I think he took it in the eye socket here.
Man. Let's see.
Yep, he took fingers in the eye, which I don't think that was intentional, but it doesn't hurt any less when it's not intentional. So
no, if anything, it might hurt more because they don't realize what's happening. They have no control. They're not trying to slow down anything.
You can't really protect yourself in that situation. 113, 100, 451 to go if you're trying to sync up with where we are at here.
Yeah.
Who's taken more shots to the face, Nurk or Bradley Beal this year?
I think it's Nurk. I think Beal has taken maybe the worst singular shot, but I mean, Nurkic has had moments where other people have gotten suspended for hitting him in the face. Bradley Beal's just had a bunch of other little injuries as well. Nurk with a quiet 17 and 17.
Yeah, and the 4 assists as well. I mean, this is a quality night from him. I mean, he stepped in offensively where Bradley Beal really kind of wasn't the guy tonight. But Bradley Beal has 6 assists and 8 rebounds to go along with his 8 points. The 3 turnovers, there were a couple ugly ones. But, I mean, overall, again, Bradley Beal taking on a tough defensive assignment, doing a lot of the little things, still shooting 50% and was 2 of 3 from deep. So, like, I don't mind when Bradley Beal is trying to get involved in other ways. Would I like for him to be a little bit more in the flow of the offense? Sure, but you've got other guys doing it tonight as well. So
yeah, I don't mind this game from Bradley Beal at all, because the only reason I would mind it is if it felt like he had the opportunity to get in a rhythm and impose his will and he didn't do it. And then at that point you're like, well, man, you've got to do that. But I feel like he's picked his spots fine. Only 6 shots, shooting 50% from the field, but 8 rebounds and 6 assists, 2 steals and a block as well. Like just all those numbers combined is what you need out of somebody to win a game like this. When you have somebody going for 48, you need somebody else to do a lot of the dirty work. And Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen, they've all done that so far. And that's okay. They don't all need to have crazy scoring nights all the time.
No, I mean, for sure. You don't have to be when you have a handful of guys doing it offensively, you can afford Bradley Beal to do more in other ways in a given night. How about that Iowa game tonight against LSU? Caitlin Clark.
She's the truth.
9 3-pointers. She had a hell of a night. I don't know if she got the triple-double. I know she was close before we came back over here.
I know that's the only bummer about watching this good Suns game so far, is that we did have to miss that game.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, 41 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, was 9 of 20 from the 3-point line. That's a hell of a game.
That is that is such an impressive stat line. But I just come to expect that from Caitlin Clark. She's just that good.
Nurk, I shorted Nurk. I think I had said 1 block. I believe he has 2. So according to the broadcast.
How's Sauce Bet looking?
I think he needs Beal to do more.
He only needs 10 points from Beal.
So 2 from Beal.
So 2 more from Beal. Grayson Allen, he needs a 18 plus PRA.
He's at 16.
Okay. He needs 16.
He's at 17.
Okay. He needs 16 PRA from Valanciunas. I'm pretty sure that's happened.
Valanciunas is at 18, so that's happened.
Okay. He just needs 2 points from Beal and a rebound or an assist from Grayson Allen, and he hits.
Yeah, and he's still back in the dust.
Yeah, because KD has 20, Booker has 20, Nurkic has 5. Yeah, so he's close. We will see, though. 15-point game, 4:47 left to go in the fourth quarter. If you're joining us, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Plus, we'll be here for a post-game show with the normal crew as well. See if the Suns can hold on to this lead against Zion and the Pelicans. And are they calling that while he was shooting? Man,
So they count the bucket.
count the bucket,
free
and he
throw
goes to the line. They've been giving Zion a lot of calls tonight. How?
I guess they called that Nurk swiping in his arm.
Yeah, but that's on the ground. He hadn't started his shooting
Yeah.
motion yet. Come on,
I
man.
know.
Come on, man. Suns have cooled down from 3 so far. They were shooting over 50% going into the half. They're at 17 of 43 for 39.5% right now.
Ball don't lie.
Yeah, they've come back to reality a little bit.
Zion missed the free throw there on what looked like a non-foul.
Oh, let's see here. They do look a little lost right now. I can't lie. A lot of passing and standing around.
Nurk trying to bail him out. I don't like that hook shot. 13-point game. 4 minutes and 11 seconds to go.
Put your shoulder into the smaller defender if you're going to take a shot there, Nurk. You don't need to do that. And they give him another foul. Jeez.
So they can cut it to 11 on free throws here. I mean,
All right.
Okay, but this
We're getting tight.
You knew eventually they were going to go back to Zion and his size advantage. I know it didn't work early, but you knew eventually that they would, and the home team usually gets the advantage on foul calls, right? Especially late in games. So buckle in. What it's going to take is making a few baskets. I mean, that's the reality here.
We'll see, man. I mean, the Suns are still in a good position to hold on to this. You can't let New Orleans gain any more momentum than what they already have. And look, you need Devin Booker to continue his scoring they did before. He's still at 48 points, and I know it's a weird thing to say, still at 48 points.
Zion missed another one there.
So there we go. You got to capitalize off those, man. This could come down to be a 1 or 2 possession game right now. It's 12-point game with 3:50 left to go.
At this point, I kind of, I don't know.
What is that?
Again,
what are you doing?
Okay, that's a bad shot.
Why does this team play like this in the fourth quarter? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because they stopped doing what they were doing early on. They're not running. And I'm sorry, don't put Katie in that situation.
Yeah.
Katie has no chance against Zion like that. And I hate to say it, but it's just too big of a weight differential.
Yeah, it's tough because Bradley Beal is your only other option. He's done fine, but Grayson, we need this.
Suns are 3 of 16 in the fourth quarter. Eric Linares asked, what level Buscemi is the fourth here? I think we're at a full Buscemi here in the fourth so far.
Yeah, the fourth specifically for sure.
Yeah, no, not
for sure.
The fourth.
Overall, I mean, we are on Buscemi territory for sure.
We'll see. Now we are. Because you're under 10. This is the first time since the first quarter that they've been under a 10-point lead. It's 115-108 with 2:45 to go. And this is the shit why you can't have confidence in this team at any given point. Because guess when games are decided in the playoffs? The fourth quarter.
That's a bad shot.
Great rebound by Book, but then he loses a handle on it.
That's a bad shot. You know what? If anybody's going to take bad shots today,
from beyond the arc.
And no, Kern, I don't think that this style works when the team is when somebody isn't hot and one person's forcing shots. Like, I agree with you. It's a bad method. They need to be able to adjust and they need to be able to play differently.
But the irony is what he accused Book of doing is exactly what KD is doing here.
And you haven't even given Devin Booker the chance to shoot his team out of the game in the second half. Like, he hasn't even done that yet. But overall, no, choking in the fourth quarter is not a strategy that I'm on board with. Bad ball movement in the fourth quarter is not a strategy that I'm on board with. Like, there are certain flaws in this team, but
there you go.
Devin
Booker
Booker,
knew they needed
lefty
a bucket,
layup.
and he got in the lane. 9-point lead for the Suns, a minute 58 to go. But Zion yet again, and he gets fouled. Like, I'm sorry. You got to come up with a different answer right now. Why? If you're trying to hold on for dear life, right?
Yeah.
And your offense isn't working as it's constituted right now. I'd look at do you try to put a guy like David Roddy in there to just give you some size?
Well,
I get it.
but that's the thing
but
with Zion. When you have a guy like Zion, I don't know if you can just make adjustments because you're at a point where you can't stop him. Because there are just nights that no matter what, no matter what, he can't be stopped, and that's why your best defense is your offense and scoring. But KD is not the answer on Zion. I just don't know if they have one.
But you're not pushing around a guy with that size like you are Brad Beal or Grayson Allen or even a KD in this situation.
But you're saying you take out a Nurk and put in Roddy, and then KD's guarding Valanciunas. You take out Grayson Allen, and then you're taking your best 3-point shooter off the floor.
I don't know. That's the tough part here. But right now your offense isn't doing enough to hold on. You're literally scrambling for dear life. You're trying to run out the clock now.
117, 110.
Booker again gets to the bucket.
When in doubt.
I mean,
when in doubt, 52 points.
He's taken control. They just showed a stat on the screen. Devin Booker just became only the second player to score 50-plus points 3 straight games against a specific opponent. The last guy to do it, Wilt Chamberlain.
Wow. Wilt's record's getting broken all over the place.
The only other guy.
Word to Demonis Sabonis, but they just called another foul. Zion to the line again.
Who's on him? Grayson.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have an answer. They don't have any personnel in here except for if you want to talk yourself into David Roddy body type wise.
But I just.
But he's not the answer.
No, I mean, these little guys getting pushed around by Zion is just annoying as all hell.
But Book with 2 very timely buckets right now, and Zion with another timely missed free throw.
I mean, I think this is going to continue to be Book versus Zion.
Yeah. Best player right now versus best player.
Yeah. But this is why it's great that you built such a big lead because you have margin for error.
Right. I mean, you're right. It just sucks that they can't just have a full 4 quarters of dominance.
But this is the first run the Pelicans have made all day.
That's fair. It's just it's a bad time. If they did this middle of the 3rd quarter and then it ballooned back up, you wouldn't care as much.
No,
but
agreed.
Now you're starting to sweat a little bit. 119, 111, 123 left to go in the game. Suns just inbounded the ball if you want to sync up your TV with us.
Just take care of business.
We're rooting for Travis L., who has the Suns at -7.5 for his second parlay.
Yeah, that must have been a second half parlay there. They were 1.5 underdogs coming into this game.
Alternative spread, maybe. Bradley Beal drives to the paint, and he hits it. There we go. Some timely shots from the Suns. I love
that Book read the double team and got it out fast. The Suns up by 10 now.
There we go. They're surviving the punch. Zion to the line. Slow the game down again, but Zion's missed some free throws. So at least you're going to give Frank Vogel something to complain about tomorrow. That's the upside of this all.
But look, you had, like I said earlier, you had to expect this to eventually happen, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Frank's
Frank's going to challenge.
There
we go. You don't want it to happen right now. And I know that's kind of playing the semantics game where you're like, hey, I would have rather you cut it to single digits halfway through the 3rd, right? If they still end up winning by double digits. But for a team that has struggled so much in the 4th, the whole psyche thing, you don't want to see that. All right, let's see here. I don't know if they I can't tell if they hit him on the arms. Yeah. I couldn't really tell from that angle.
I can't tell if it is somebody. I don't think it's Grayson. I think if you're gonna call a foul, it was probably Beal there. Grayson kind of knocked the ball from under.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't know if that was a foul, but they called it a foul, and so that's the tricky thing.
Travis's parlay: Suns -7.5, Book 40+. Over 120 points for the Suns.
Plus 650.
Plus 650. All he needs is the 7.5 now.
Not bad. Oh, wait. Beal scored. Hold up. Did Saul hit his parlay? Beal has 10.
Everybody hit their bet.
Does Grayson have
18 PRA. Grayson Allen has 11 points.
17.
He's 17 still with 55 seconds left. Woo! Oh, geez. Yeah, if he's off that by 1, he's gonna be pissed.
I feel like if you're looking at Grayson here, primarily, you got to overturn it.
Yeah, I that's the one downside of not being able to watch with sound.
See, he hits all ball.
Yeah, all ball, and he gets it out.
He came with that other hand and knocked it out from under. That's
all
ball, unless you somehow call Beal on it instead there, but.
We'll see. You never know what these refs are going to do, but I do know there's about 100 of you in here right now. Make sure you hit that like button. We are 55 seconds left in the game. Suns holding on to a 10-point lead, 121 to 111. Lindsay, Gerald, and Espo will be around for your post-game show. A couple minutes after this stream ends, we're going to get that one set up and going as well.
I'm sorry. There needs to be a damn timer
Limit.
On challenges, right?
And Katie and Zion are going back and forth.
I'm sorry. Give me a timer on challenges. This kills all momentum right now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's the ref's moment. We all watch this game for these moments where you can have the ref get the microphone and make an announcement and tell us that they were right, as they always do.
I need to know what the hell is so funny, because Katie was laughing. Beal and Fizdale are laughing. Again, Fizdale's glasses are askew. He must have uneven ears. I don't know why this drives me nuts. I want to know now. I want to know.
We need some investigative reporting.
I mean, if he has uneven ears, he has uneven ears. I'm interested in it.
I mean, maybe that's just how he likes it. Should we just? Should we?
I mean, I could do it. Like,
we should. This is throwing me off. I don't like this.
It's just one of those weird things.
Everything looks like weird.
Like, I want Gerald to go up and ask Frank Vogel about that. Like,
well, Gerald did ask Devin Booker about the ice cream.
Frank, I'm concerned about David Fizdale. His glasses are always askew.
Frank,
uneven ears or just broken glasses?
Frank, crazy season for you guys. Oh, here we go. We finally have a result. We can't hear it, so you can let us know in the chat. But we don't know if they're going to overturn it, but we do know that this ref is loving that his forehead veins are popping live on camera.
Charles Coulter.
Yeah.
Successful challenge.
There we go. Okay.
So is this a jump ball now situation? Because nobody has. Well,
I don't know. Did they call it just not a shooting foul and a regular foul? Did they just call it no foul at all?
I assume it was no foul at all here. Yeah, so it's a jump ball. By the way, Charles Coulter wants me to go ask.
I mean, Espo getting his investigative reporting. All right, big jump ball here. Yusuf Nurkic wins. That's big challenge by Frank Vogel. And Dyson Daniels almost gets the steal in the backcourt. Whoo! Sweating
At what point, if you're New Orleans, are you fouling here? Because, like,
I don't know.
I don't like this, though. You're just trying to run out the clock.
Bradley Beal, top of the key. Three, bang, and that's game,
Bradley
baby.
Beal
That's game.
The deal.
That is game. Hit that like button, baby. We're playing that sexy sax coming up.
This one is over. Guess who didn't get...
Let's go!
Well, actually, what happened here?
Well, let's see. 11
they
points.
Call a foul? Or
16. Oh, wait. 15, 17. Okay, sorry. I can't... again, not a math guy.
What did they call here? Because the clock stopped.
I don't know. We started saying it was a win, and they said, no, not so fast. Not so fast. Yeah, let's see here.
Why are the Suns having to inbound it?
There is, yeah, I don't know. They must have called a foul on somebody, but they're in the bonus. At least they're in the bonus now. And now they're at the scores table. Don't worry, guys. There's still time for the refs to shine.
It must be a clock issue.
Hey, yeah, don't worry, guys.
Again, there have been more clock issues this season than Flavor Flav probably has.
There we go. That's the reference right there.
Yeah, nothing says millennial nerd like Flavor Flav reference.
In case you were wondering if the refs could get any more moments to shine, even though the game is about over, don't worry. You were right. They can get more moments. 124 to 111. Suns are letting their shot clock roll out. It's going to be 4 seconds left in the game.
Suns.
And they didn't stop. This clock operators didn't.
Clock in general this year has been terrible around the NBA. Just awful. Putrid. I can't believe how bad the clocks have been. And it is official. The Suns win 124-111. Devin Booker finishes with 52 points on the night. A big game for him. A big win for the Suns as they keep the Lakers at bay and they keep in the race with the Kings, these Pelicans, and a handful of other teams there fighting for those final playoff spots. And look, they got an opportunity now. You have the tiebreaker against New Orleans.
Yep.
You cut a game off their lead on you. You have another opportunity against them. It's it's cliche, but one at a time. Now you got to go take care of business against Cleveland. You got a scoreboard watch tomorrow before that game on Wednesday, and that's going to be the pattern here for a while now.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to control what you can control. And does it suck that everybody else in the West that you're racing with also won? Absolutely. But it stings way less because you took care of your business. And it was a historic win as well, because Devin Booker finally, after literally so many times getting 6 3-pointers made in the regular season, he not only hit 7, he got up to 8. Besides Devin Booker, what was your favorite thing you took away from this game, Espo?
Well, I hit my bet. So
That's
always
good.
an important thing. Saul missed his by one.
That might be my favorite thing as well.
So he's now in the negative. But, you know, what my takeaway is, I wish it was more of a positive. But
Great.
Okay, it's Damian Lee throwing water here on Book. But, I wish it was a little bit more of a positive, but I did not like the fact that we're looking at another difficult fourth quarter here. You wanted today to be one that gave you confidence, right? And changed the narrative after you saw them jump on the Pelicans so early, and they didn't. Let's be honest. That fourth quarter leaves you wondering a little bit more about that. And I hope they have one of these games soon that kind of instills more of that confidence. We'll be back.
Win is a win, baby.
We got a show tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Now.
But we got a post game right now, and then the next game is on Wednesday versus the Cavs. So head over. There's another link for our post game show. Join us there in just a few minutes. We'll talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.